Welcome. I'm Amy Beth Shaver. She's Allison Sinclair. He's JP. And this is Rightside Radio. It is Freedom Friday. We're so glad you're here. We have quite the show. Thank you. I should have waited. We have quite the show for you planned today. We have John Merrill as our guest at 2:30, as you know, or maybe you don't because you haven't heard yet because you're busy living your life, that he is running for the chairman of the Alabama Republican Party. So we'll have a conversation about that. We have JP on sports. JP on sports. Pew, pew. Clown World. And perhaps we have the three at 4:30.
Oh, Trace.
There you go. So it's a day, everybody. It is a day. It is a glorious day. And I'm just happy we're here together. We made it through the week. You made it back. And we made it here together. Fabulous.
Barely here. I'm better now.
Good. I'm glad you're better.
I don't know why every day. I mean, I've been here for like 2 hours, but every day at 2:05, I'm shocked we're doing a show. It's like, oh.
And it wasn't that way in the morning, but it is that way in the afternoon.
Yeah, it's good though.
Sorry,
this
my
is fun.
stuff is everywhere today.
What's crazy is it's the opposite for me.
What do you mean?
Like when I was on morning shows, it was always like, and afternoon shows, it's right in my sweet spot.
This is when you were at your peak.
Yeah. I'm not a morning person, and I'm not really like, I'm not even dialed in until like 10 o'clock normally. Like I'm up, but I'm not like.
Really?
I mean, I can be trained to be a morning person, but I'm not happy about it.
What are you going to do if your wife is a morning person?
I hope she is. I need a morning person.
Okay. Yeah, we're Chris and I are opposite. How about y'all?
How about that?
How about that?
How about that? Jared goes to bed early, wakes up super early.
We're on the same time then.
I go to bed early and sleep in super late. I think I'm kind of neither.
I go to bed late.
But JP, your text this morning was hysterical.
Yeah.
Like, God, I got to start getting up before 8 because all the old people do all the things really early.
Thanks, JP.
Today was one of those mornings where I was like, check my phone. I'm like, scroll. What the heck?
What I miss?
Yeah. I mean, I need to become a morning person. It's just I'm not hardwired.
Would you like for me to send a happy 5:30 a.m. text? Wake up, JP.
I don't know. I'll probably wake up and say, stop texting me, Abs, and then go back to sleep.
Wakey,
it's okay.
Wakey.
I was the kid, I think I've said this
bakey.
before, that when I spent the night out, which I didn't do a lot because I hated it, even though I loved all my girlfriends, I'd get up with the parents.
You're that kid.
Yeah. It's embarrassing. I mean, obviously.
Could have called it.
And then I'd lay there and just for an hour think, when are they going to get up? Wake up. And it'd be 9 or 9:30 because my friends are normal. Except for my friend Kimberly. We both wake up very early. So anyway.
JP is transitioning.
Yeah.
Transitioning into adulthood.
But what's funny is with my friends, I am the early riser in my friends.
Okay? Early wiser.
The early wiser. Like whenever we go to the lake house or something, I'm like, oh man, I slept in too much and I'm up and they're still out. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah, see, I don't know. I can't relate to, I don't know. Oh, good on you.
Good on you, sir.
I still need to get up early. But
yeah. I realize I don't have us on our, sorry about that.
No, I don't. I do better when I don't see it's hard to
pay attention.
It's hard to pay attention. Yeah. So how was everybody's night? Anybody do anything exciting? I can't even remember what we did last night.
Oh, you know what?
Yeah.
You did something fun.
Yeah.
And I watched Alyssa Liu win gold in figure skating, even though she won it during our show yesterday. And her story, her dad's story, it's incredible. It makes her story incredible.
I missed her dad's story. I saw her story of taking like 3 years off because she just wanted to be a teenager. And then she just came back and started skating like a year ago. Then the other thing I got from it was the terrible hairdo. Like
the hair. What is with it?
I don't even know what you're talking about.
If y'all haven't seen, so she
put in Elisa Liu.
She's a cute little girl. Oh, she's a cute girl, but she had like the top was black hair And then she bleached blonde like a 3-inch strip. She looked like the Cat in the Hat. Her hair was striped, bleach blonde, black. It was just weird.
It
But
looks awful.
she seemed like she was having so much fun, even with bad hair, and seemed so relaxed and
Is that what you're talking about?
just was, well, I can't see it.
Oh,
'Cause,
okay.
okay, hold on. But I didn't hear her dad's story. What's her
The
dad's story?
CCP, China wanted her to skate for them.
Yeah, but find it with her hair down.
Yeah, it's
Why is this?
every time.
Every time.
Every time.
Oh, I see one. Okay. Yeah, this is weird.
So when she has all black hair, glorious. But the striped hair, like you dipped your head, I don't, or you painted.
I don't even know how you do it. Yes,
it's
that.
awful.
Oh, what are these little stuffed animals they put on the medals? Because I thought those were strange. And if they were in my Olympic picture, she was on the podium and she had to take a picture with those.
Apparently, they throw stuffed animals on the ice. I don't even know about that. So I'm confused about this and the stuffed animals. You know what? I need to text my cousin who did skate. I bet she would know.
Well, they all had those.
But her dad was targeted by the CCP, and somebody from the party made friends with him. He said, I thought he was my friend. And then it came out that he was from the CCP. And apparently there's more of a story than that, because the FBI may or may not have gotten involved, but they really wanted Elisa to skate for China. And when they said, no, she's going to skate for the US, it could have gotten ugly. Her dad did what was right and said, absolutely not. I think the FBI knew about the story. I found it last night, but I thought that makes your story of retiring at 16, taking time off, figuring out, wait a second, I love skating, but I can do other things too. As Chris said while we were listening to the story, you mean it wasn't her idol anymore? Okay. And then when something is not your idol anymore, you suddenly love it because you're like, oh, it's in its rightful place.
Yep.
So what an interesting story, but the fact that her dad was targeted is intriguing. Very intriguing.
So what, we won another gold yesterday, but I can't remember.
Women's hockey.
Oh, women's hockey. That's it. We did talk about that because I didn't know.
Did y'all know that what she said?
No.
Had no idea.
I have not even watched a second of the Olympics. It's kind of crazy. I just don't like the Winter Olympics.
You don't?
No.
Have you seen some of the ski pictures of the guys just sailing through the air? The snow is falling. Tremendous.
I'll watch the bobsled.
Images. Bobsled's fun.
But I like to watch the basketball in the Summer Olympics. I like to watch like the Summer Olympics has got the great one. Yes.
Basketball. When I think Summer Olympics, basketball doesn't come to mind.
What?
I don't know. I think track and field. And,
okay, yeah, that's cool.
You know, but basketball, I guess that is a thing.
Do we want to go to the 2028 Olympics, you guys?
Where's it at?
Los Angeles.
Oh, yeah, I forgot.
No. That'll be a disaster. That'll be a disaster.
I don't like LA. Well,
I hate LA.
It's got that feeling of a great place that has gone.
Yes.
Like it's so beautiful. And I'm like, this place has got such great potential. And it used to be so cool, but now it's just like,
it's dirty.
Yeah. It's like smog everywhere. Everybody's on heroin. It's
homeless people. Like even all the places, it's just not, I don't know. It's gone down.
The great part about it was taking pictures of GTA sites and sending it to my friends because GTA is built off the LA map. So I would go like spots and take pictures, but that was it.
Is that where somebody was killed?
Yeah, actually.
Yeah. Yeah. This is the corner I shot.
Wait, really?
Yeah. I mean, like, this is the corner where I beat you with a bat or something like that.
Oh my gosh.
Did you do something fun last night? I think you did. Are you allowed to say?
Probably not.
Okay. Allison does fun things.
Probably not.
Sometimes she can't tell us, and well, she can tell us, but we can't really talk about it.
I mean, nah. Anyway.
It's okay.
So I do want to talk about, we were talking about Winter Olympics. We should have held it in Lake Tahoe this week, which is actually where my dad lives. So all these avalanche, I mean, they're getting like feet and feet of snow. Is that a word? Feets of snow. I mean, tons of snow. And in the middle of all this, we never even talked about the 8 people that were killed in the avalanche. Really sad.
It's awful.
But that's right where my dad lives. Like you start talking about Donner Lake, Donner Peak. You remember the Donner Party
Yes.
where they all had to eat each other?
Yeah.
Okay, that's where they're getting all the snow again.
What?
And the people, the 8 people that were killed out of that group of like maybe 14.
Yeah.
Were all ski instructors at Sugar Bowl, which is where I grew up going and skiing. It's just a tiny little ski area right there outside of Tahoe. But I didn't hear much about the avalanche or the snow.
I didn't know about it until you mentioned it off air yesterday.
Yeah.
All I know about the avalanche is that of the 8 people that died, they're investigating or going to investigate the guide who took them on the hike because it seems like they pointed them straight at danger. So we'll follow that story, but I did see reports of that.
Is the guide still alive?
I don't know. Or it could have been somebody who said, go that way. But the guide is going to be perhaps looked into.
I'm not the
He can't help it. How did
smartest-
you know?
No, you should know. Well, that's exactly what I was about to say. It doesn't take you being a guide to know that, hey, there's a lot of snow coming and we're in the back country and there's no grooming and there's no,
Nothing.
There's no, not Zamboni. What do they do?
There's no
They're-
like of the big
they
ski
call it when they-
equipment. What's the big ski?
They go out and they groom it and then they,
Man, I got
anyway,
to ride in one when I was little. They're awesome.
maybe we should not go.
It would make sense.
You don't have to be a genius.
A piste basher?
No.
Huh?
I just looked up a snow groomer. A snow groomer or piste basher.
Oh, I don't know about that. I
Sounds
just know they're
French.
big and they're loud and they snowpack so that you can ski.
Snowplow.
Pretty much.
Yeah, now that's a great point because were they going hiking? Like where were they going? I don't know, but I'll find the story and share it with you because you'll probably know exactly where they were going.
Scary.
Yeah, it's terrifying.
My dad's going to be shoveling snow for years.
Mm.
It's bad.
Is it normal
imagine-
for them to get this much snow right now?
It happens every 3-4 years.
Okay.
They just get piled on. And when I say piled on, I mean like 10 feet of snow built up. It's crazy.
So do they, after they shovel the snow, are they so used to it with all the equipment that they have, they just go about their life?
Yeah. They act like it's like if we were to sweep off the front porch.
That's just
That's
it's
just
for
what they
them.
do.
Wow.
And then they smile and they go on about their day. It's weird.
That's like my Pennsylvania family. Whenever we
Yeah.
close down school for like 2 feet of snow, they're always like, are you guys serious? It's like we got 2 feet yesterday and we just gone on about
Yeah.
our business.
Weird.
Just get it off the road.
Super weird. Okay.
Can't live like that.
I can't.
How do you live like that?
Boy.
Okay, we got to take a break. I think this clock that we look at is way behind.
Okay, we need to fix it.
Okay. We're
Yeah,
gonna
we need
fix
to
it in the
fix it
break.
during the break because I think we're really late. All right, we'll be back on the other side, and then at 2:30 we have John Merrill joining us. You don't want to miss that. Enjoyed our conversation with Catherine Robertson, who is a candidate for Attorney General of the state of Alabama.
Catherine began her public service in Washington as clerk and counsel to Senator Jeff Sessions on the U.S. Senate Judiciary Committee.
She served as the vice president of the Alabama Policy Institute under Gary Palmer and has been the chief counsel in the Attorney General's office under Steve Marshall for the past 10 years.
In this interview, we discuss what makes her qualified to be Alabama's next Attorney General and specific issues that matter to Alabamians and fun questions so that you get to know Catherine, the individual.
We hope you enjoy our following conversation with her and get to know Catherine Robertson.
Welcome. We are here with Catherine Robertson, who is running for Attorney General of Alabama. Thank you for joining us today.
Really fun to be with y'all. Thanks for letting me wear a hat.
I love your hat.
Yeah.
I'm upset I don't have my hat on.
You're left out.
I'm totally left out today.
Hers is pretty cool, though. I can't read it because my eyes are going bad, but it's
Marshall County Sheriff's Office. Sheriff Phil Sims gave me this hat. He's a good dude. I love to wear it.
I am guessing he endorsed you.
Yes.
Nice, nice.
Mm-hmm.
Mine's Rightside Media. You can have one too.
Yeah. Love it.
Blue or black? Take your pick.
Oh, yeah. Looks good.
So why don't we we're going to get right to it. First question, pretty basic. What qualifies you to be Alabama's next Attorney General?
Well, I came into the office with Steve Marshall. I beat him by about a month, but we learned the job together. We learned the job over the course of the last 10 years, but really those first 2 or 3 years getting your arms wrapped around the office. And in my mind, if you have an opportunity to elect someone that's had that kind of training and that kind of experience over a decade with everything we've seen and everything we've experienced, seems like a pretty good choice. So that's why I'm running. I just hated to see 20 years of experience of that office of executive leadership walk out the door at the same time, because I think continuity there is going to serve well all of our newly elected constitutional officers.
Right now in Alabama, what do you see as the biggest weaknesses in the criminal justice system?
Well, we've corrected a lot of them. I'll say that. I mean, when we got there in 2016, our legislature was in a posture of really being concerned more about prison overcrowding than kind of the back end outcomes of leniency. And so we made a variety of policy changes, working with our legislature. And so the criminal justice system right now is a lot tougher than it was. I think the weaknesses right now come down to really 2 things. One, I'm not sure our DA's offices have the resources they need to move cases quickly. And 2, there are just parts of our state where the elected judges just don't serve the people as well as they should. And so the slowdowns, I would say, are the biggest weaknesses. Now, last year I drafted a law that passed called the Speedy Trial Act, and we can get into that, but that is a tool that's going to be used and has been used to speed up violent crime cases. But it's just the slowdowns. We wait too long for cases to be tried, for justice to be served, and a lot of times those offenders are out on bond committing other crimes in the meantime. It's a real problem.
Are there activist judges? Do you see that frequently? Judges in Alabama pushing their own agenda, or do you just think this is purely a manpower kind of office flow?
I think there are places in our state where the elected judges are Democrats and have a different philosophy, probably a more lenient philosophy. And you can get into a really deep debate about whether we should have elected judges or not. I think ultimately I think elected judges is a good thing, but once they're there and they're really lenient and people get mad, it's really difficult to recruit candidates to those races, and it's really hard for them to beat incumbents, and so you get a little stuck. But I don't know that it's activism as much as just a mindset of, I'm here to show grace or be lenient, and where you fall on that spectrum probably has a lot to do with your personal philosophy and ideology.
So, to the hat you're wearing and the illegal immigrants that are being gathered up in Marshall County, it's a place Alabamians probably know a lot about. That may be one of the first places people go, oh, that's in Marshall County. Yeah. What are the legal tools that Alabama has to respond to the consequences of illegal immigration?
Yeah. States have been hamstrung in large part to do immigration enforcement themselves. Alabama tried to pass a law to empower the state and empower law enforcement several years ago, and most of that got struck down. So the best tool we have now is partnerships. Sheriff Phil Sims, who you just mentioned, has a great partnership going with ICE. And so it's just a collaborative, cooperative relationship. I think the unique role that the AG's office plays is the national litigation that we take part in. I mean, of course, we're going to be facilitating law enforcement relationships. We even have a federal law enforcement liaison to make sure we're all.
Welcome back to Rightside Radio. I am Amy Beth Shaver with Allison Sinclair and JP, getting ready in a few minutes to interview John Merrill to talk about his most recent declaration of what he's running for. It'll be an interesting convo for sure. But JP, I know that you have some text. Would you mind sharing them?
Yeah, if y'all want to text in, let us know your thoughts during the show. That number is 833-687-4448 or 833-68-RIGHT. Brad from Crimestone County, he puts a verse in there. He says, "He who blesses his friend with a loud voice early in the morning, it will be counted as a curse to him." Proverbs 27:14. And then he rewrote it and said, "He who blesses his friend with a cheery text early in the morning, it will be counted as a curse to him."
It's true. Brad, you're right. And I wouldn't dream of texting JP. It's why my mom, when I would wake her up as a kid, would make me go to her closet and read books. So I would just be quiet and read books.
See,
So I
my-
learned.
my-
I learned.
My dad knows how to get me up. He just opens my door and goes, "Orange rolls are out here." Shuts the door and I'm up. Go out.
You know
So-
what?
That's the only way you can get me out.
Yeah.
But was it at least a little bit exciting to wake up to a bunch of drama?
Oh, it was.
Little insider baseball.
It was like it's all done, and I'm like, wait, no.
I
Like,
missed it all.
Hey!
yeah.
That's funny.
Chris from Rogersville talking about the Olympians' hair. He just
Oh.
said raccoon hair.
It's hideous.
It did look like raccoon hair.
She had the weird, y'all know, like on her, it looks like she has braces and
Yeah.
you see, but do y'all know what that is?
Devil tail.
No, but do you know it's a, you know, the weird, like, right, you can't see the like what
Frenulum?
what connects your lip to your gum?
Oh yeah.
It's pierced.
Oh really?
That's what those two things are on her front two teeth.
Doesn't that look
No
like
way.
a devil's tail?
Yeah, it looks like a devil's tail and it looks not good.
Again, hideous.
You know, I had that removed on my bottom gum 2 years ago or last year.
Wait, what?
Whatever that thing is that connects your lip to your gum.
You have
What? Yours is gone?
Yeah. I had
Wait.
a gum graft.
What?
Yeah. It was something I was born with because that was angled to pull on the bottom. It was like angled and it was pulling on the bottom of one of my teeth. And they went in, took a chunk out of the roof of my mouth, cut that off and put it over.
okay. I thought you were saying you had a piercing.
No, that thing
Okay,
that she
I was
had
like-
pierced on her mouth. I got that.
Oh,
removed.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
That
don't know
must
what
have
it's
hurt
called.
very badly, JP.
Did
The recovery wasn't fun.
yeah.
I couldn't eat for like,
Milkshakes for life.
but I tried to eat too fast and it made it worse.
You know what is it with you young men?
I was
Trying to
hungry.
eat too fast. Anyway, congrats to her on her Olympic win, but we may need to rethink. Like in 10 years, you're going to look back at yourself and go, why didn't my mother tell me?
Yeah.
And the mother's going to go, I tried.
By the way, one real quick text before we go to break. Lisa from Huntsville. She says, if you haven't read The Indifferent Stars Above by Daniel James Brown, it's a really good read about the Donner Party and how it happened. Most of it is based on
Ooh.
journals and interviews of the survivors. It was a hard one to put down.
Okay, wait. Can you tell me
Yeah,
that
say
again,
that again.
please?
The Indifferent Stars Above.
Okay. I have money left on my Thrift Books gift card, and I'm going to put that in my cart. Thank you.
Is it bad when we would go to dinner? You know, we're out there like on Donner Lake and Lake Tahoe, and we would, what's your name for the wait list? And if it was a larger group, we'd always say the Donner Party of 8. Get it?
Funny.
Get it?
It's good.
Ha.
So funny.
And then they would get it and they'd be like, ha ha. And then they'd feel bad for laughing. It was always kind of an awkward moment
That's funny.
Listen, you never know what you're going to do until you're out there.
until you're out there. Okay, we're going to take a break, right? Do I hear the music? When we come back, we will have former Secretary of State John Merrill, who is running for ALGOP chairman, just announced this morning. We'll have him on the other side.
Page. But, you know, the president has had a very difficult time getting his immigration plans and executive orders and all that into action because the blue states come rushing into court. And so one of the most important things we've done is to back him up and to say the states are harmed when the federal government doesn't do X, Y, and Z appropriately. And that's why we support the president. He has every right to do this, whether it was the travel ban from a few years back or the Remain in Mexico policy or the, you know, the parole for immigrants. We have supported the Trump administration or fought the Biden administration in all of those spaces, which is something only the AG's office can do.
What are the non-negotiables for election integrity in Alabama, and as far as what the attorney general can control?
Yeah. We obviously support all legislation that strengthens our elections. When we are inevitably sued, we defend those laws, I mean, to the, you know, furthest extent we can, and we've been very successful. When it comes to election fraud that takes place now, our case, our office hasn't been referred, you know, voluminous cases of election fraud, but there are places where you start looking at the number of people who voted, the number of absentee votes, and then the population there, and you kind of start to wonder. And so we've got tools to deal with voter fraud. It is a crime in Alabama, and, you know, we investigate anything that's forwarded to us.
So talking about elections, what safeguards do you see that need to be implemented or reinforced when it comes to elections?
Yeah, I think my view on kind of the safety and security of our elections is that we do it pretty well. But I do think that Joe Lovern has a bill this session to deal with election audits and that kind of thing. I think you can always be improving. You can never be too careful. Thankfully, again, there are only a few hot spots in our state. Some of them are in the Black Belt where the numbers just don't seem right. But I mean, the non-negotiables are, we don't do ballot harvesting. That's illegal here. We have voter ID. I mean, that's a total non-negotiable. And we have clean voter rolls, which I think we've made a big effort to do. The federal government sued us under Biden when Secretary of State tried to clean up our voter rolls. We fought that. So there are limitations on, how you accomplish these things. But I think it's something you've always got to be striving to improve.
What do you think the Attorney General's role is in ensuring that our state government itself, the agencies and departments, are serving the people well? And how would you approach that part of the job?
That's a really interesting question because I think when you're out talking about the role of the AG's office, they either know us as the crime fighters or the, Trump supporting, state sovereignty fighters. Both of those things are true. But there's this big middle section of what we do in the AG's office that never makes any headlines, but that I believe, as a former state think tank girl, really is an important role to improving our state government. We represent every state agency and every department and every regulatory board. And that gives you access to information where you start to see, what are we doing over here? What are the trends over here? Why are you getting sued all the time? Why are you making life hard on these people? And it is a little bit of a stick. I mean, we don't run the agencies. We don't direct the cabinet members, but the role we play in representing these departments can sometimes expose, bad things that need to be corrected or things that just aren't efficient or aren't aligned with Alabama values. And so that's a role that that I have, taken on personally. All of the agency councils report through me. And so we try to have a really good system to make sure that we're doing our part to keep our government honest.
What does that look like if the reports come to you and there's trouble? Walk us through, when would somebody come to you, and then what steps happen from there?
Yeah, so any legal document that's filed in court on behalf of the state of Alabama has Steve Marshall's name on it. But those people aren't all under our roof. They're housed in different agencies. And so obviously we want it to be a collaborative relationship. I mean, we try to all, work together and work on the same team. And when I see filings or complaints or suggestions to hire outside counsel, when those things come across my desk, I mean, my first reaction is not to be hostile towards it. But sometimes you start seeing trends that you don't like, whether it's spending too much money, whether it's taking positions that really don't seem that conservative or aligned with Alabama values, or maybe not taking seriously enough things that the legislature has put in place. And so, starts with a phone call, but we do have tools. We can remove attorneys from cases. We can superintend cases. If an agency files something and we didn't see it, we can go in and say, don't listen to them, listen to us. And it's a really, really important tool that we have.
Welcome back to Rightside Radio. I am Amy Beth Shaver with Allison Sinclair and JP. We are happy to be joined by former Secretary of State John Merrill, who is now running for the Alabama GOP chairmanship. John, how are you?
Great. I hope y'all are doing well. So good to be with you this afternoon.
Thanks for coming on. So let's get to it. Tell us why you decided to run.
Well, it's really not something that I have given a lot of thought to in the past. And Amy Beth, what happened last Friday, I received a message from a high-ranking official in our state. And then over the next 5 days, I was inundated with messages from, more than a dozen from different leaders in our state, at the federal level, at the state level, at the local level, party officials, members of the party, who wanted to know if I would consider running for this position to become the next chairman of the Republican Party. And I told them that it was certainly something that I would consider, because they were so enthusiastic about asking me and encouraging me to consider this as an option. So I made some phone calls to approximately 30 different people, some of whom I would consider fans of John Merrill, some of whom I would consider people that have not necessarily always been enthusiastic about supporting John Merrill for different things, because I wanted to get a true vision for what it looked like out in the field as far as a potential candidacy would be concerned. It became very clear to me over the next few days that there was enough interest there to put forth an effort and to develop a campaign to try to secure this position to lead the Republican Party forward.
If you were elected chairman of the Republican Party, what would your top 3 main priorities be?
Well, one of the things, Allison, is to restore confidence in the party. I think there are a number of people all across the state, some of whom have actually become members of the executive committee, some people that are on the steering committee, and then general folk in our state who consider themselves to be Republicans, who don't have the kind of confidence in our state party that they've had before. And that's very disturbing to me, because the transition that's taken place over the last 16 years since our party became the majority party in the Alabama legislature should put us in a position to be the party that is leading in all the discussions related to education, economic development, quality of life issues, all of those things that are so very, very important. But I don't think that a number of people feel confident in what we're seeing as far as that leadership is concerned. And so we want to restore confidence in the party. But number 2, we want to restore confidence in the leadership of the party, because people need to know that the people who are in Birmingham at the corporate office there at the Republican Party headquarters are available and are interested. And one of the things that I will do if elected as party chair is to continue to visit all 67 counties as I have for the last 14 years in a row. But not only will I visit all those counties and go to all of those party meetings at least one time a year, but I will also ensure that our staff there at the headquarters will actually get out and go visit those locations themselves. I think it's good for our people that are out in the field who are working every day in the 67 counties and the 466 municipalities actually have contact with those folks so they can say, yes, I know that individual, and I can call them and be confident calling them and knowing that they're going to get a response. Number 3, I think there's some questions about the financial integrity of some of the things that have been going on in the office and with the state party as a whole. One of the things that John Wall has done a tremendous job at is raising money for the Republican Party, for the state. But I think there are a lot of people who are concerned about where all those resources have gone and how much money has been collected and how much money has been spent. And I think it's important that anybody, not just a member of the party, but anybody that's interested can go into the office of the Republican Party in Birmingham and can look at a list of folks that have given resources to the state party and can see where those resources were spent. I think fiscal responsibility, integrity, and accountability are very, very important. And that's something that our office was noted for when I was serving the 8 years as your Secretary of State, is something that I know would be able to be transferred to the Alabama Republican Party.
So you're right. We experienced a great transition 16 years ago when we became the majority party, but there are some holdovers that we haven't seemed to get a handle on. What is your position then on closing the primaries in Alabama?
Well, one of the things that I did when I was the secretary, Amy Beth, was to study that issue. And we never did issue legislation for the body to consider, either the House or the Senate, to see if that needed to be advanced. But one of the things that I learned in the studies that we conducted at that time, which now that's been approximately 6-7 years ago, is that whenever that happened in a particular state, it resulted in fewer people participating in the primaries and the runoff than had before, because people had to identify whether or not they were Republicans or Democrats, and then they had to continue for some length of time that was predetermined in that position before they could change and go to the other party at another point in time. I do think it's healthy to have that discussion. I think it's healthy to have that discussion inside the executive committee, not just in the steering committee. I think it's important to have that discussion all across the state of Alabama, and then to work with members of the legislature to determine what would be best for our state in moving forward. But one of the things, and y'all both heard me say this many times before, when it comes to election administration or when it comes to things like party registration, you need to always examine what you have done, what you have been able to accomplish, and what changes need to be made or considered for the next election cycle. Because if you're not continuously evaluating where you are and trying to determine where you need to go, I don't think you're doing all you can as an administrator.
So last week, I missed it all. I was out of the country. I missed like the biggest week in Alabama history, it seems. But there was a recording of Speaker Ledbetter in a closed door meeting saying that he doesn't give a crap about the Republican Party. Now, the context was not clear in how and what he was saying, but just taking kind of that thought, there are some people that said, well, it's not the speaker's responsibility to really, care about what's happening in the Republican Party. The speaker manages the House. There are some people that are like, this is like treasonous for him to say he doesn't care about the Republican Party. What is your thought on the relationship between the legislature and the party going forward? Like, how do you view that, or would you view that as chairman?
Look, I think we need to have a better relationship between the Alabama Republican Party, the members of the executive committee, the members of the steering committee of the Republican Party, the members of the Alabama legislature, our congressional delegation, our constitutional officers, all the people that are elected officials from the White House to the courthouse throughout the state of Alabama need to be more in tune with what's going on at each one of those levels, so that we find ourselves working together more and building a collaborative effort for success in promoting our ideals and our philosophies, more so than we need to be fighting against each other or we need to be pushing back against each other. Healthy discussion is always positive, but we need to do so in a way that builds unity for the party, not that continues to tear down where we are. The thing about what Speaker Ledbetter said, he didn't know that he was being recorded, and he didn't know that that was going to be shared with all 5 million people in the state of Alabama. He simply thought that he was talking to members of his caucus. I'm sure that he was expressing some frustration about things that had been introduced recently that were concerning to him, that were disturbing to him. And he made it clear what his position was on whatever that issue was introduced to him as at that particular time. I think he may have chosen to do that a different way if he had known that that was going to be made public everywhere. But how many people do you know that have always said the right thing at the right time in the right location in their entire lives? Because I don't know any. And so I would say that Speaker Ledbetter has made it clear that he wants to lead Alabama forward in economic development and education and quality of life issues, healthcare issues, transportation, infrastructure issues. And obviously the body has seen fit to have him serve as the Speaker of the House for a second consecutive term. And so I think it's meritorious for the body to continue to look at him as their leader. But I think that there are things that we can all do to work together to try to be the best that we can be as we move forward.
We didn't talk about this before, but do you have time? We've got to take a break. Do you have time to stay on till maybe the 3:00, the top of the hour?
Absolutely.
Okay. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back with John Merrill.
Set right in my face.
little known, but I think we do a lot of good in that space.
I had no idea. I know we talked about it a little bit on a previous interview, but that's fascinating.
Yeah, I mean, we had an issue a couple years ago. There was a regulatory board that well, it was the pharmacy board, regulated pharmacists. They've since had a change in leadership, so no shade on them. But they had filed a complaint against a particular pharmacy and a particular pharmacist. And when I looked at it, I was like, that's not right. I mean, that's real life. That's your livelihood. And so we went in and dismissed the complaint against the guy. It's an unusual role for the AG's office to play. The other interesting thing is that the AG by law can't really ever have a conflict, meaning conflicts don't exist. So there have been times where we've sued a state agency, even though the agency would normally be our client, just to try to get them into compliance with what we thought the law would be. We've done that on 2 occasions. Actually, I've actually taken the stand against a state agency before. It's really unusual, but it just shows that there's so many tools that the Attorney General has that if you don't care about getting the job right and you only care about chasing headlines, none of that stuff I mentioned, you wouldn't do it. You know, I mean, there wouldn't be any use for it if you're just there for the politics of it. And so something I'm passionate about, again, I think that goes back to my experience at API and just really understanding our state government and the areas where it could be improved. And, you know, I think with the next governor, that's certainly something I'd be able to offer. Like, hey, Governor Tuberville, you need to know I've been seeing these trends out of this agency and we're not going to be able to continue to defend this. Can you help me out? And that's how it ought to work.
That's great.
One of the things we saw during COVID was, and really actually past COVID, is DEI and SEL and all this critical race theory stuff has kind of trickled down into even rural Alabama, which people swore it would never be there. But the federal government and schools, because we do take federal money, there are things that they push down that we have to follow. I'm thinking about all the Title IX, gender ideology, girls and boys and girls locker rooms and all that kind of stuff. What's your stance as if you were Attorney General of how do you protect the state and what the people of Alabama want?
Yeah.
And balance that with the federal government mandating these things happen?
Yeah, so not to nerd out on you, but like in 2016, I wrote this paper before I left API called Selling Our Sovereignty. And I laid out all the federal funding that Alabama receives, which is not inherently bad. But I said, what if some administration comes in that's hostile to our values and starts using that as a way to shove things on us that we would never vote for in the ballot box? Well, they did, you know, and Biden learned that very early on. I mean, we had a situation one day where our Department of Agriculture called and they were like, we're going to lose our free school lunch program if we don't do this gender language stuff in all of our documents. And I was like, whoa.
It was the bathrooms. You had to have,
They threatened it through our WIC program, Women, Infant, and Children's, you know, supplemental nutrition program. They wanted that to be genderless school lunches, you know, and then needless to say, public schools generally. So there's 2 ways you have to approach those things. On the one hand, you're running into federal court and you're suing and you're trying to get it stopped. And we do that and we do it well. But the backside of that is somebody's got to be communicating with state agencies to say, look, we can't let you violate state law, but we also know your federal funding is at risk. Let's work through this and navigate this together. And that's a big part of the role I played. It's like we're over here litigating, and yes, we want to win. But I mean, you know, I was writing legal memos all the time, trying to give these agency heads and their general counsels advice on, you know, not forfeiting the money because, I mean, the program is partially paid for by the federal government, but here's how you can maneuver, here's how you can navigate it, and then sort of policing to make sure that the stuff wasn't being pushed through anyway. Again, that's kind of the inside baseball part of it, but there's a lot of aspects to this stuff. You don't just file the lawsuit. There's a lot of work to do within state government, and goodness knows during COVID, I mean, I was putting out memos once a day saying, you can't do this, you can't do this. You've got to adhere to state law, and we will try to help you work through the threats coming from the federal government.
So is that what it means then, where sometimes people see the Attorney General's office as that last line of defense?
Yeah, I mean, I think the Attorney General got that tagline as the Republican AGs, not all of them. Some of them aren't a good line of defense at all nationally if they're Democrats, but they got that because it was during Obamacare. If you remember, the state state sovereignty was really threatened over a provision of Obamacare that was going to like force states to do Medicaid expansion and some other things. And for once, the United States Supreme Court said, okay, states are independent and separate sovereigns. Like, we've got to acknowledge that. And so that kind of became the tagline. And what it means can be on the national front. It can also mean in the state, even though people don't think about it that way as much. But it's kind of like when all else.
Welcome back to Rightside Radio. I'm Amy Beth Shaver with Allison Sinclair and JP, having a Friday, enjoying our interview with former Secretary of State John Merrill, who is now running for the chairman of the Alabama Republican Party, ALGOP, as we call it. And John, I have a quick question. We have about 6 minutes. We're going to go 2 questions. We're going to do our best. Okay.
Yes, ma'am. And let me say this.
Yes,
If
sir.
you'd like to have me on another time, I'd love to be on another time. And I'd love to be in studio with y'all. I'm sorry it didn't work out that way this time, but thank you for considering that in the future if you'd like.
Absolutely.
We're trying to bring back the old school in studio interviews. So
yes,
definitely.
Thank you for that. So,
Yes,
you know,
ma'am.
I met you back in the day when I was running for House District 43. And I also, though, at the same time served on the state executive committee. And so when the hot mic moment happened, and you're right, we all say things that we don't know are being recorded. But when I was on the state executive committee, the reason that Speaker Ledbetter's comments that I could give a crap about the Republican Party rang true with me was because back in the day, we felt like, what are we doing? We didn't feel like what we did mattered as a party. So I appreciate your comments about developing more of a flow in a relationship, but could you just follow up a little bit more and speak to that on what you really would like to do, how to make that happen?
Well, sure. And look, the other thing, Amy Beth, that you have to remember is in becoming the chairman of the Alabama Republican Party, I will be the only person that has had the privilege to serve as a county chair. I mean, I was a secretary for a county party before I became the chairman, and then and just a member for several years before that, and then became the secretary, then became the chairman of the party, then served on the state Republican executive committee, and then ran for and was elected to the Alabama legislature, and then was elected to become a constitutional officer and the only person in the history of the state to serve 2 terms as Alabama Secretary of State and be a Republican at that time. It gives me a unique perspective in being able to interact with our elected officials who are in Montgomery, who are fighting every day for our people, for our values, but also in many instances for their own existence, for them to continue to serve in that capacity. And I think reaching a consensus on where you need to go and what you need to address is so important. I don't think it's important for the Alabama Republican Party to come up with a list of things that they think need to be addressed by the Alabama legislature, just like I don't think it's important for the legislature to have a series of things to consider independent of the governor. It needs to be done consistently and collaboratively whenever possible, because look, aren't we all just trying to make Alabama be the best Alabama can be? Isn't that our singular goal? If that's not our singular goal, what are we doing? If we're not doing that and trying to promote Alabama, to allow Alabama to be the best it can be, then obviously what we're attempting to do is to promote ourselves. And nobody wants to see that, and nobody wants to hear anything about that.
Quickly, and this is kind of not fair to ask at the very end, but I think you'll have a good quick answer for this. But there's lots of discussion about ballot access and, you know, people switching from the Democrat Party, or we donated to a Democrat, there's a 6-year waiting period, or the sore loser clause. What are your thoughts on that? I know you formerly were a Democrat, switched to the Republican Party, I think in 2010. Do you agree with
Actually,
those?
it was in 2004. That's the first time that I voted exclusively in the Republican primary. But Allison, it's a great question. But I think what we've seen recently with some of the ballot challenges that we've had is we've seen some inconsistencies, some some concerns that people have, people that are on the steering committee, people that are on the executive committee, and general interested Republicans out in the field who are concerned about the lack of consistent rules being enforced. Some people think that if you have a stronger relationship with the people who are making the decisions, you're going to be treated differently than people that are just coming and making a presentation for the very first time. Nobody wants that. And the reason that people don't want that is because, for the grace of God, there go I. It could be me that's there. I don't mean me, John Merrill. I mean you, Amy Beth Shaver. I mean you, Allison. I mean anybody. And so we need to make sure that we're giving attention to that. And the rules, I mean, it was stated to a candidate that was denied ballot access this past weekend that the 6-year period of time that you just referred to was a period of time that was an automatic disqualifier. But if the steering committee elected to make it 10, 12, 15, 20, 100 years, they could do that. I haven't seen that written anywhere where they have that discretion. I have a concern about that. And I think the two of y'all do too. I think there's a number of people that have that concern, and that's the kind of thing that needs to be addressed by the entire body, all the members of the executive committee for the Alabama Republican Party.
I think, rules are rules. And it's hard when
It
you
is.
do develop relationships with people. I mean, it's the nature of the Republican Party, and we all kind of stick together, and it's hard. But again, we talked about this whole week, that if there's a rule, you stick to it no matter who it is. So I agree with that. John Merrill, you and I have had our disagreements through the years, but one thing I really appreciate about you and always have is that you will always take my phone call. You're always up for an interview, and you'll always answer the questions. So I really appreciate you joining us today. And good luck. Keep us posted. And Abs, you got anything else?
No, we'll just talk to you again soon.
Yep.
Thank y'all so much. It's always great to visit with y'all. Take care and have a great weekend.
Thank you.
Thanks. Well, that was fun.
That was fun.
Always a good interview.
Yep.
And I don't think he's ever met a camera he doesn't like.
No, he hasn't. He's good at that.
It was fun. All right. We'll be back on the other side.
We got about 20 seconds left for the music comes in.
Well, I don't know all you're like,
We can't have dead air for 20 seconds.
yeah, but
No,
what
we
are
can't
your
have dead
hand
air.
motions? Okay. I thought 1 minute was like,
Well, yeah, but you did. That was like 45 seconds ago. There's the music.
I didn't want to get in trouble because Allison doesn't follow
You
the
know,
rules.
if you have like 7 seconds of dead air in radio, some of them like just.
Does
plug
everybody
your-
panic?
Yeah.
Like, what are we going to do?
Yeah. They're off the air.
We could have kept talking.
No, not really.
Okay, see, you can't win. All right, we'll be back.
Congress doesn't get things done very quickly. The president gets stymied at every turn. Who do you look to that can be agile and quickly rush in, to either promote something or defend something? And it really is the AGs usually working together, and it's pretty effective.
What do you think is the most significant legal threat facing Alabama in the years to come?
Not to beat a dead horse, but it's just a reclaiming of our state sovereignty. We really haven't made much progress. We've won some cases, so you solved the immediate issue, but large scale, have you heard Congress having a debate lately about how to return power to the states? We are going to keep having the same problems over and over and over again every time there's a Democrat in the White House. Every time. Because they look at Alabama as a deep red state, but it's a poor state that's heavily reliant on federal funding for federal programs, and they're going to jerk us around every time. That is the biggest threat, because every other thing that we work on, every girl sport, every, DEI, all that stuff, COVID vaccine mandates, all of that is pushed through because of a lack of state control. And so that's the biggest threat we have. It's the biggest thing that we need to beat back.
So what does success look like for a conservative attorney general?
Our mission statement is to make the state safer and the country freer. And so if you can walk away from the job, whether that's 4 years, 8 years, or in Steve's case, 10 years, and you can say that you've done that and moved that needle, that's success. I think the one thing I would want to be known for is that you never back down from a fight, and that you're extremely vigilant in making sure that these leftist things that come from Washington in some cases, or come from the corporate world in some cases, whatever it is, that you do everything in your power as Attorney General to make sure those things don't get a foothold in Alabama, because I think the AG plays the most important role in keeping Alabama conservative and preserving the values that we had. And if we'd been lazy over the last 8 or 10 years in the way that we did business, Alabama would look really different.
Kind of last question, serious question. We've got some fun kind of get to know you questions. It's what we end the radio show every day with a would you rather, just a really fun something. But to wrap up, why should the people of Alabama, what qualifies you to be Alabama's next Attorney General?
I think anytime you have an opportunity to vote for someone that has a track record, that's a pretty safe bet, because I have a track record. I have a 20-year track record. You can go back and read my op-eds from API on pretty much any conservative topic out there. And then I have a body of work over 10 years. And so when I go out and talk to the people of Alabama and say, vote for me, I'm not promising them something that I want to do or, hope to do. I'm saying vote for me because of what I've done. You can trust me to fight the correct fights. You can trust me to handle myself well, to build the relationships I need to, take on the fights that need to be taken on and to do them to the degree necessary to deliver success for Alabama. And so I just think there's nothing like, hands-on experience. There's nothing like being somewhere for 10 years and seeing the good, the bad, and the ugly, and then, weathering it fairly successfully. So that's what I'm offering. I just think that continuity out of an office has done a good job is a great thing for the people.
All right. So, lightning round.
Let's go.
What's your favorite book?
Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen.
That's so good.
Or really anything by her.
I think I read the Cliff's Notes.
Girl, you miss out.
It's
Really?
a good, yeah.
Can I just watch the movie?
No, I'll bring you a copy. It's
Okay.
It's a prized
Really?
possession. Yeah,
Is it like
it's phenomenal.
thou shalt be?
No.
Okay.
She's very witty, and it's a great book.
Would we hang out with her?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it'll make you want to go to Bath, England.
It absolutely, yeah.
Okay.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, what's one thing that like we all generally you have to do every day that really annoys you?
Dry my hair.
Okay.
Hate it.
I only wash my hair like once every 4 days. I don't do that every day. I despise taking my makeup off every night.
Do you really?
Yeah, I don't know. This isn't about me, but that's like my thing.
So
It's really annoying. What about you?
that's annoying to me.
Yeah.
Laundry.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
I
Yeah.
hate laundry. What trait do you most value in friends?
Loyalty. Easy.
Easy. What was your nickname growing up?
KK. That's
that's cute.
my maiden name initials were KKG, and a lot of people still call me that.
That's good.
So, what's your dream job outside of politics?
Outside of politics, I would like to be a water ski instructor.
That's so good. Okay.
I'm a great water skier. I can slalom and hold the rope with one foot. And
No, you can't.
yeah. And I've taught other people how to do it. And I think I'd like to do that full time if this doesn't work out.
Okay. I think
I don't know
there's a
how well
future
it
for you.
pays. I don't know how well it pays. And if y'all want me to send you a picture of me skiing, holding the rope with my foot for this podcast, I can.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah,
great.
we need to see that.
Great.
Like if you had given me a million guesses,
Yeah. I
that
thought
would have been like a million and one.
Yeah.
Possibly.
Oh, hey, full of surprises.
That's hysterical. I wish I could water ski. I just can't.
I can teach you.
I can't stay
Hey,
up.
If I'm not Attorney General and I become a water ski instructor,
You will
I'll
have
give you a
lots
good
of time.
deal.
Okay,
Give you
yeah,
a good deal.
we'll schedule that because Jared's tried for years and he's given up. He's like, I'm dizzy going in circles picking you up on the boat. Thank y'all for joining us today. We hope you really enjoyed the podcast.
Please like, share, subscribe. And if there's an option, give us a thumbs up or a 5-star review. We really appreciate it. Amy Beth Shaver with Allison Sinclair, and we are joined by Admiral Brian Christine, who is the Assistant Secretary for Health at HHS. And it is a thrill and it is an honor, sir, to have you here. Thank you.
Oh, it's a privilege to be here. It is so fun to have come back home to Sweet Home, Alabama, to come see my family and to do this, to work with y'all, to do this podcast to help get the messaging out that we need to, so the American people know the good things that we're doing in Washington, the good things that Secretary Kennedy and President Trump are doing. And so as we start off, I have to give a shout out, obviously, to our president and to Secretary Kennedy, because they are working so hard to make this country healthier than she's ever been, to make Americans stronger than we've ever been, to make America.
And hello, everyone. Hello. It's Friday, and we're so excited. Hour number 1 down. I'm Amy Beth. She's Allison, and he's JP. And you know what? You know what today means? Today also means, in addition to a banger interview with John Merrill, we have JP on Sports. JP on Sports. We also have Clown World, and we have the 3. So this is not a day where you want to go anywhere. Just take us with you wherever you're going. It's just a thing, okay? And your comments today are hysterical, but we'll get to those in a minute. First, my friends, because there's so much news going on, we have JP's miraculous montage. JP.
Alert for you. It's finally here. The Supreme Court has made a decision on President Trump's tariff.
And says essentially that this IEPA, this law that grants the president emergency powers, did not, it looks like by this first blush reading by Justice, the Chief Justice here, does not give him the power to levy these tariffs that he's levied.
Barack Obama said that aliens are real.
Well, he gave classified information. He's not supposed to be doing that. You know?
So aliens are real.
Well, I don't know if they're real or not. I can tell you he gave classified information. He's not supposed to be doing that.
The president can declassify anything that he wants to. So if you want to make an announcement,
I may get him out of trouble by declassifying.
The Chinese government has never let me go. They sent spies to the U.S. The spy actually became friends with me. I befriended him. I helped him a lot, in settling down in the San Francisco Bay Area, and I treated him as my friend.
answer the question. 5 words, okay?
Trump has dispatched a second aircraft carrier to the region, the USS Gerald R. Ford.
In case we don't make a deal, we'll need it.
I saw where Mitch McConnell was blocking the SAVE Act this morning. I think it's partially just out of meanness. He doesn't like Trump, and Trump got him in office. Sadly enough, he helped him in that last race extensively. And that's one thing I value in this game is loyalty, and apparently he doesn't.
Well, JP, you just put it all in there, didn't you? All of it.
It was overflowing.
It was great. That was, that's kind of like the brisket I'm going to have tomorrow. I will get hungry before I'm done with all the food. And this is the kind of montage you've created for us today.
Talking about that. Tell everybody where you're going.
We're going to Muscle Shoals tomorrow. North Alabama friends. We're going to Muscle Shoals tomorrow to check on some things. And as you know, Fourth Planet Barbecue is only open on the weekend at 12 until they run out. The good sir and I will be in line before 12 o'clock.
Okay. What is the Fourth Planet? What does that mean?
I have no idea, but apparently maybe it's a place you go while you eat the barbecue because it's so good.
Did you know that all the planets are going to be aligned on February 28th?
We should have a show just based on an interplanetary show.
It hasn't happened in a long, long time. I can't remember when.
The rapture's going to happen.
Maybe. I'm for it. I'm for it. Let's go.
So, yeah. Okay.
Well, unless I'm stuck here. That would stink.
That would
if you're left behind?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the book I read in middle school. Stink.
Yeah.
That one. All right. So
we're not even going to go there.
No. It's Friday. We're happy. We're light.
Do you have that song Friday that our kids loved when they
Friday.
Gotta get down on Friday.
We need that for a Friday. That was a good song. Okay. So here we go first. The Supreme Court ruling against tariffs, ladies and germs.
Well, Okay, it sounds terrible. It was a 6-3 decision, and I don't know how it was split. Do y'all have you seen?
I believe it was Thomas, Vito, and Roberts. Yep.
Alito.
Excuse me. Well, I
It's
said
okay.
Vito.
You
Wait,
said
Alito.
Roberts was one of the 3?
Yeah. So it was Roberts, Thomas, and Alito that
He's still making up for Obamacare.
Dissented. Okay.
dissented.
So, but what I'm hearing, and I haven't read it, and tell me if I'm wrong, it's basically, hey, you have lots of other avenues to do this. This was just the wrong one. You chose the wrong one. And if you want to do it, here's what you can do.
Do you have that guy's clip, perhaps?
Mhm.
Do you want to play that? Because I felt like that was the best explanation.
Does he explain it?
He explains it because I printed this out just so we could have it. I'm a dork, but you're exactly right. The court ruling applies only to tariffs imposed under IEEPA, which sounds like the girl from Ipanema, but the decision does not invalidate tariffs imposed under other statutes. It only holds that IEEPA does not authorize the president to impose tariffs. But I stumbled across a great guy on the interwebs, and maybe this will help you because it helped me. Also, because JP is awesome
Help me
at these things. And even Jonathan Turley, that great law mind on Fox News, was not completely, like, he was very calm about this ruling. And I was like, okay, this is good. If Jonathan Turley's not upset, I'm not upset. I'm fine. It's
Do you
fine.
have it,
He's
JP?
the lawyer.
Okay.
All right,
yeah,
let's
I don't
go.
think it's as bad as it seems.
You're right.
Take a breath and calm down. The Supreme Court ruling as it relates to sweeping tariffs probably isn't what most of you think, whether you're on the right or the left. Basically, the ruling is based on the fact that the IEEPA does not specifically mention tariffs. So that means that the Trump administration can't do sweeping tariffs, which is a lot easier to do. It just has to be now targeted tariffs. This doesn't mean that tariffs are going to go away. This doesn't mean Trump can't still move forward with his plan. This just means that the Supreme Court has made it massively more complicated for businesses and people, that they're going to have to wade through individual tariffs on individual goods or individual industries or individual countries. I don't think this is the win that Democrats think it is, and it's not the loss that Republicans think it is. It's a Supreme Court ruling that was anticipated by the Trump administration, and if you don't think backup plans were already in place, then you haven't been paying attention to the Trump administration.
It's good, isn't it?
Yeah, that's good. It's very balanced. He doesn't look like an authority on those kind of matters, but I believe him.
Well, plus he says he's the band Beard. So who doesn't want to listen to him? But what I did hear, and I didn't know if you guys heard about this in regards to the tariffs, was there was talk that countries who had tariffs placed on their products would have to be repaid by the Trump administration for collecting those tariffs. That's the part that gave me pause.
Is that
I know
true?
nothing about it, but the talking heads on Fox were discussing that, and I don't know about that. I wonder if our audience can enlighten us. JP, do you know about that?
Not that specifically. No, I don't know. I disagree. This sucks.
So,
Oh,
like,
really?
on paper, he's right. Like,
Okay.
on paper, that is correct. However, there's a reason that the Trump administration wanted the sweeping tariffs, and I think one of them was a 10% tariff on everybody we had a trade deficit with. Like, there's a reason that all of those tariffs were implemented, because now if you've got to go through Congress for each single tariff, it's not going to happen. Like, you're not going to vote for. And here's the other side of it. Republicans are going to be put on the spot here. How many do you think that all Republicans, well, not necessarily all Republicans, but do you think enough Republicans will vote for tariffs to implement them? Like, for example, you're going to have the Rand Pauls, you're going to have the Murkowskis, you're going to have the Collinses, you're going to have the Mitch McConnells, you're going to have the squishy Republicans. They're not going to vote for tariffs. So on paper, it's like, well, he didn't say the president can't levy tariffs. yeah, okay, but there's a reason that the Trump administration did the tariffs the way they did was because Congress is not going to. And I am so pro tariffs. Like, it's one of the most brilliant things I thought this administration was implementing, because we've got to start to build our own manufacturing at home and actually make things again. But like I said, there's a reason the Trump administration did the sweeping tariffs as it was. And I agree with Clarence Thomas and Roberts and Alito that the president should have the executive authority to determine these things. But it's not going to. I'm not sure. Trump said he had a way around it. I'm not sure what it is, but we're gonna have to pay back tens of billions of dollars.
Yeah.
That we brought in, which sucks. And also, this is a win for China. It's a win for all of, globally, who were going to get hurt by the tariffs. So, like, yes, on paper, he's correct. But in reality, if we've got to go through all the hoops and ladders to get independent tariffs done, it's not going to happen. So, I don't know. I think this sucks.
But isn't this the way it was intended to work? Checks and balances and nothing to happen quickly. I mean, it's kind of like Biden or Trump ruling by executive order. I mean, it's great, but it's really not that strong. I mean, and so there's supposed to be ways to do these things. I mean, it stinks because I'm with you. I'm 100% with you on that. That was a great plan, but I feel like this is the way it's supposed to work.
Actually, I agree. Like Alito wrote, that the president should be able to impose tariffs under the power to conduct foreign affairs. And they warned the court's decision would cause chaos as importers, so there's that aspect of it too. I would argue that sweeping tariffs would be under the emergency tariff, the IEPA, whatever it is, and under the foreign affairs column, So I think there is I would agree with the dissenting justices here that this should follow under the foreign affairs, because really, if China has us to where we're relying on them for all that we're relying on them on, that is a foreign that is an emergency, and that falls under protecting our nation and our national security. So that's what I believe. It's very unfortunate. So, like I said, on paper, it doesn't mean that the president can't do any tariffs, but the sweeping tariffs that we need, that we're going to have to go through Congress for, it's not going to happen, and it sucks. I hate to be the Debbie Downer, but we're just going
to watch all weekend. The thing that concerns me the most is the repayment of those funds. How in the world is that going to happen?
Yeah, they're saying that they are expected to be due to companies, but the process for obtaining these refunds is unclear, and that it might involve lawsuits.
Oh, gosh. That's all we need.
If anything, it'll involve a government process, which is just a nightmare. And so I guess my question is, and I know we've got to go to a break, if you refund all these tariffs that were collected under EPA, I like that.
Isn't that good?
But then you do the foreign power, what was it? You just said act.
The Foreign
Affairs Act. I mean, can we not just like hold all this money and not have to give it back and then take it back? And then it seems like a lot of going back and
forth. I think
forth.
the Supremes hate him.
But we're going to have to do this.
You know what's funny? I'd like to see how the markets respond to this.
Ooh, we should check in the break.
We should check.
Well, they're already closed, but we could just look and see what they did today.
Yeah. So just one last piece. I just think that, I don't know. I was expecting the courts to rule in Trump's favor, honestly. But when you got, it's funny because I would have expected Roberts to not go with it.
Yeah.
But then, I don't know. I was a little concerned about Amy Coney Barrett, so I don't know. It sucks. We'll see what their backup plan is. Trump claims they have a backup plan, and we'll see what that is. But you want me to take it out?
No, I just was making sure you were done.
Yeah,
we'll be back.
So thanks for the opportunity.
So before we jump into those values issues and talking about making our country healthy again, which is such a relief, could you tell those who may not know you or have heard about you, because you are a legend, a little bit about your background?
Sure.
As we jump in.
Yeah, absolutely. So I was born, my father was in the Army. I was born in what used to be West Germany. Now, if you're old enough like me, you remember that one time there was an East and a West Germany during the Cold War. My father was a tanker. In other words, he was in armor in the Army, tanks. And we had a lot of armor assets deployed along the east-west border during that time. I was born in 63, really the height of the Cold War. So I was born in West Germany. My father ultimately went Special Forces. In his second tour of Vietnam, he was really severely injured, lost an arm and a leg, got out of the military. We ultimately settled in Augusta, Georgia, had some family there. I went to medical school at Emory in Atlanta, and then I came over to UAB for my residency, and that's how I got to Birmingham. I did my residency in urologic surgery, completed my residency, and then I joined a urology group here in Birmingham, and I practiced with that group for 24, 25 years, really subspecializing in men's health. That was kind of my gig. Then I got the call for the nomination to be the Assistant Secretary for Health from President Trump. Went through the confirmation process. Ultimately, was confirmed by the Senate. I was confirmed into this position last November, and here you are. So now I'm in Washington as the Assistant Secretary for Health.
Were you expecting that call? I mean, how does this happen?
Yeah,
you're just like
that's a great
Brian
question.
Christine in Birmingham, Alabama, and you get a call that you're the next Rachel Levine. What's her boy name?
Richard
Levine. Richard Levine.
You're
That's exactly
Richard,
right.
Yeah.
Yes, I am President Trump upgrade from Richard Levine.
We would say
there
so.
We're very grateful
Yes,
for you.
Yeah, exactly. And I really think, listen, I think one of the reasons that President Trump nominated me and that Secretary Kennedy wanted me in the position is because I practiced medicine on the front lines. I was kind of a Main Street doctor. And I think they liked the idea of having someone who really understood medical care and delivery from a Main Street level. Personally, I think also one of the reasons that President Trump wanted me in this position, because there's really not another visual that shows the difference between the horrible Biden administration and the really righteous and good Trump administration, and the fact that you have me in the same position as Levine. I'm a man who wears men's clothing, and that really says all you need to know about the last administration and this administration. For sure.
I always thought he could have done a better job, like zhuzhing it up a little bit. Like it was like he put on some earrings and a dress, and that was it. Like, but we can work a little harder. But I think America, the juxtaposition is overwhelming from what y'all are doing versus what he was doing.
Well, no, exactly. When you look at Levine, I mean, again, his agenda was no question about it. The transgender and minors agenda was so important for him. All he wanted to do was to tell little boys they could be little girls, little girls they could be little boys, and then recommend castrating surgeries, castrating chemicals, hormones, and do irreversible harm to these kids. So if you go back and look at what he talked about, mostly that was it. I mean, Levine advocated for removing any kind of age restriction on transgender treatment in kids. He advocated for those sex-rejecting surgeries. That's what we call them. People say transgender surgery. No, in this administration, we talk about sex-rejecting surgeries and procedures because that's what they are. And that was his big focus, right? I personally believe he was in that position as a statement. I personally believe he was in that position to be an eyepiece, not because he really cared about the health of the country. So I'm really happy to be in this position to be able to reverse and to right so many of the wrongs that the last administration and Levine, perpetrated on the country.
So in this position, you're able to do a lot of good. Could you talk to us about your roles and responsibilities?
Sure. As the Assistant Secretary for Health, you have kind of a three-level role. One is to help form healthcare policy, to work across the different divisions of the Department of Health and Human Services, to work with the CDC and NIH and FDA, and work with HHS leadership to help form healthcare policy. So we help form the policy. We help implement that policy. There's also a communication role, which really appeals to me, in that we help to communicate the policy to healthcare establishments, healthcare providers, and to the country at large. Okay, the Surgeon General falls under the Assistant Secretary for Health. So when we have our new Surgeon General in, and I'm happy to say that Dr. Casey Means will be having her hearing before the Senate on the 25th of this month, I believe. She'll be an amazing Surgeon General. We're going to work so well together. But together, we'll be advancing the message of the Department of Health and Human Services and President Trump to the American people. So there's that communication aspect to the role. And then also, the Assistant Secretary for Health can serve as a civilian, or they can do as I did, which is request commission from the President.
Welcome back to Rightside Radio. I'm Amy Beth Shaver with Allison and JP. So still so much to do and so little time to do it.
You need your glasses?
So apparently Trump has already imposed some tariffs under other means. Somebody laughed and said it took 3 hours since the judgment and now how they're going to proceed. So stay tuned for all of that information. What was number 2 on our list today, friends?
Aliens are real.
Yes.
Yes.
So, oh my goodness. Okay.
Okay. Speak.
Well, Trump, there's so many angles on this, but Trump had that clip on Air Force One talking about how Obama was given classified secrets and he shouldn't be doing that when he in passing said aliens are real. Well, then literally as they landed, I think he put up a truth that he was directing all alien files and UFO files to be declassified. Okay. So the first angle is this a distraction from what? Epstein files, about to go to war with Iran, whatever. Is it a distraction? Or the other angle is, do you think Trump was genuinely mad that he thinks Obama's going to steal his thunder on his alien release? Because Laura Trump also yesterday or earlier this week said that, yes, there actually is a speech Trump has ready on aliens that he will give when he's ready. So I think both of those, I think there's some truth to both of those, but distraction, upset, his thunder's going to get stolen. What do you think? What do you think it is?
I'm just still trying to wrap my brain around the fact that we're actually talking about aliens are real. I don't even know why we are at this point. I'm not sure. I mean, I do care, but like I haven't even gotten to stage 1 of we are having serious conversations about this. All these years, it's been such a joke. And now all of a sudden, we're really taking it seriously, and former presidents and current presidents are talking like, yeah, I mean, it's confidentially, but yeah, it's true. What? Like, what? I can't believe we're there. I don't know why, though. Do you?
I believe that it is both and.
Yeah.
I think it is distraction. I think it is a real conversation that we've all wondered about for years. And I also think Trump will speak out about it when he's ready. But it is my observation that Trump and Obama are not friends. And he does not like to be one-upped. So if he can get this information out before Obama keeps talking, even though Obama came back and said, "Oh, wait, I didn't mean it. I was just going along with it."
Yeah.
I still think Trump does not like to be one-upped. And if he has to rush information out, this is what he's going to have to do. But it is interesting. I mean, Tim Burchett's been talking about it forever.
We had him on our other show talking about it 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And it sounded bonkers.
Really did. Crazy.
Bonkers. But I guess there are football field size UFOs in the ocean. And Redstone Arsenal has little green people.
Allegedly.
I'll believe it when I see it.
I heard they're big green people.
Are they big?
I'm just kidding. I have no idea.
You want to talk about the Nephilim?
Yeah.
Yeah. Sure. Let's not. We'll do that on Monday. We'll be back.
I have been commissioned as the senior admiral at the Public Health Service, specifically the Commission Corps. So you have the U.S. Public Health Service, and then you have something called the Commission Corps, and these are commissioned officers. I'm a 4-star admiral. I lead the Commission Corps, and so one of the other roles I have is as a flag officer and admiral is to lead the Commission Corps of the Public Health Service. And that's about 5,400 doctors, nurses, pharmacists, therapists. Believe it or not, we've got a few veterinarians in there as well, dentists, dermatologists. We are Secretary Kennedy's tip of the spear strike force for public health initiatives. And it's really a privilege to wear this uniform. It's a privilege to receive the salutes that I receive from other members of other uniformed services and my own officers. To wear this uniform is a privilege, but that's a big part of what I do, is to lead the Commission Corps, because we really are the edge of the knife, the tip of the spear for public health in the United States. And I have officers deployed other parts of the world as well, primarily in the U.S. We work at Guantanamo Bay, for instance. We work with ICE agencies. We work with DHS. We supply doctors and nurses to the Indian Health Service, which is a big role. We have officers that work at FDA, work at CDC. They're out in community health centers. So we're all over the place, but that's part of my role as well.
Wow.
That's a lot of people.
It's a lot of people.
I had no idea.
It's a lot of people. And these officers, these are good men and women. These are good men and women who want to serve, who care about this country. And one of the things I have been told by officer after officer is they said, we are so happy that we have a new Assistant Secretary for Health. We're demoralized by our prior Assistant Secretary because we knew he didn't really care about us. He put the uniform on as a political stunt. Brian, you wear the uniform because you care about the country and you want to serve the President and the Secretary.
So going into this role, like, you're just kind of starting. If now, and hopefully we'll do an interview as you're leaving and we can reassess, but give us your top three, like, these are the things that I definitely want to get done while I'm here. What would those be?
Yeah, and so my agenda is, of course, Secretary Kennedy's agenda and the President's agenda. We all work for the President. He's the Commander-in-Chief. I work with Secretary Kennedy as we both serve the President and serve the people. And so the things that are really important to us at the Department of Health and Human Services, we know that affordability of health care, affordability of drugs, making sure we have good health care delivered to everybody, whether it be in a city or in these rural environments, that is something incredibly important to the President and the Secretary and myself. Also, we have our values issues. In other words, and we can talk about this, right to life issues, respect for the dignity of every man, woman, and child in this country. That's incredibly important to us. Taking care of men, taking care of women, that's important. So affordability, these values issues, and doing everything so different from the last administration and the last Department of Health and Human Services. We absolutely are guided by science. That's something that Secretary Kennedy has said again and again. We are guided by gold standard science, and we use that science to form policy and to do things that are going to make America healthier than she's ever been.
Okay, but Dr. Fauci says he is science. So are we Dr. Fauci science, or are we, like, how do you...
Are we science?
We are science. We are science. Listen, people can think what they want about Dr. Fauci. I prefer not to think about Dr. Fauci. I don't have much regard or respect for that individual. But who I do have regard and respect for are RFK, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., Jay Bhattacharya, Dr. Bhattacharya, who was so incredibly strong during the COVID pandemic. He leads the NIH, the National Institutes of Health. I have respect for Dr. Oz, Mehmet Oz, who heads up CMS, Medicare and Medicaid. He is amazingly brilliant, amazingly committed to this country. We have Marty McCary, who is out at FDA. Marty also cares deeply. We don't have a CDC director right now. The interim director is a man named Jim O'Neill. Jim is also the deputy secretary at HHS, incredibly smart, incredibly strong, committed to life, committed to science. So those are the people I think about. I don't worry about Anthony Fauci. I don't want to think about Anthony Fauci. He did enough harm to this country. Yeah. I think about President Trump and our team now at HHS because we're doing amazing things.
You clearly are. So could we jump in then to those values issues that you've mentioned? Top of the list, right to life.
Yes.
And underneath that would be people's concern about mifepristone.
Sure.
Welcome back to Rightside Radio. I'm Amy Beth with Allison and JP. And right now we pause in our discussion of what's on the montage, which is still talking a little bit about the Middle East, talking about Elisa Liu and actually her father's dad on that CCP pressure. But right now, friends, it's time for JP on Sports.
JP on Sports! I'm not going to say anything today.
I just like it. Okay, well, obviously we got the Olympics going on, but I hate to be that guy, but y'all are going to have to be the ones that fill me in on the Olympics first. So
it'll be abs.
Fill me in on the Olympics.
Really?
First. Yes.
We're doing great.
Are we like third in
We're
medals?
third in medals. Yesterday we were second, maybe that was one competition. All right, look, we're paying attention to the bobsled because remember, actually a Christian lady won the bobsled. And I don't know about you, but riding down really fast on a course is phenomenal. You know that Lindsey Vonn destroyed her leg last week. And if you've seen any pictures of Lindsey Vonn, the horrific looking getup she has for her leg because it was shattered.
Oh, it makes me.
Is horrifying. And then I think she's saying things like she'll be back. Like, I don't even know what that means. Lindsey, we love you. It's okay to take a break.
Didn't she date Tiger Woods?
Yes.
Yes, she did.
And they seem to both have the same problems.
Yeah, they love themselves.
Oh,
did that come out?
I was just thinking they get hurt and try and make a comeback, and then they get hurt. But I mean,
which
maybe
is why
it goes
there's
along.
3 of us.
Yeah.
I love Lindsey Vonn. I love Tiger Woods. He's my boy's favorite.
He's the
guy.
GOAT.
Is
He's
he
the
still
goat.
dating the Trump?
I think so.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Oh, that's cute. Have you seen his son just signed and is a great golfer himself?
Yeah, Charlie.
So look, that's it. Lindsay crashed. The Americans are doing well. There's a lot of snow. They should have had it in Lake Tahoe. The bobsled's fun to watch. Also the ski jump, crazy. And then our first women's figure skating medal in 24 years. Maybe less. Big time.
2002.
Cool.
That's your update.
That's your Olympic update.
Diddle-up. That's your update.
Is that the Olympic song?
No, that's just
that's our song.
That's
okay.
old school for like news is coming through.
Yeah.
Okay, I got you. Well, okay, so there's that. I do have a story that is got a conservative spin on it, and it's a breath of fresh air because this is how sport league commissioners or sport league owners should act. Dana White of the UFC, who has been always rock solid in terms of doing, like during COVID, they were the only ones that kept going. He actually bought an island so that they could keep doing what they were doing and having their fights and all. But he's a Trump friend. So one of the UFC fighters, his name is Sean Strickland. He's not very he's not very well. Okay, let's just say he says what's on his mind with no filter. Okay, so he's had instances before where the media has tried to get Sean to apologize for stuff he has said. He's just very open and, like I said, no filter. Well, then Sean actually, before he's got a fight this weekend, and during the interviews or press conferences, he said some stuff about Bad Bunny. He said, I'll let you go look up what he said, okay? But he did not talk very nice about Bad Bunny. And there were some people that pressed Dana White and wanted Dana White to punish Sean Strickland for what he said. It was, homophobic, or it was bad, whatever. This was Dana White's response. But this should be the response of every sports league commissioner when pressed about anything political.
Anybody to do anything. I don't try to control any other human beings in any way, shape, or form. They do it I say it all the time, we're in the fight business, and if you get your feelings hurt that bad, you probably shouldn't ask the type of questions when you know the answer you're going to get from Strickland. Let's start there. You know what I mean? If you ask him, you know who he is, and if you ask him a certain question, he was baited in that question. I don't give anybody a leash.
Well, I'm saying you...
A leash?
I'm like...
Free speech. Control what people say. Going to tell people what to believe. Going to tell people... I don't fucking tell any other human being what to say, what to think, and there's no leashes on any of them.
Wow.
Okay.
Isn't that awesome? So this
Yes.
is how, give Dana White a plus. There you go. So that's how free speech should work. Somebody says something that you don't like, then you say you don't like it. Somebody said something that you don't agree with, you have the free speech to say you don't agree with it. But asking for people to get punished because they said something you don't agree with and wanting them to lose their livelihood, because these fighters, they don't get paid if they're not fighting. So if you're going to punish a fighter, that's their livelihood. So I love that response from Dana White, but we need to see more of that from other sports commissioners. Don't stop virtue signaling with everything you do. Let the fighters, you know what? If somebody went up there and said they loved Bad Bunny and they thought it was awesome, then they can say that too. But trying to punish people and punish athletes for saying what they think is wrong. But also it goes from the aspect of it, like when sports teams are forcing their players to wear pro LGBTQ rainbow jerseys or hats during Pride Month, it goes both ways. You don't punish people for saying what they believe, but you also don't force people to partake in something that they don't believe. So I don't know. I wish we had more Dana Whites and other sports leagues out there because that was awesome.
That was incredible. Also, I think it would have been fun, and at some point I hope Dana White will do this, when that numbskull posed that question. Maybe Caroline Levitt will do it. What is the definition, dear reporter, of fascism? And just say, now, isn't that what you're doing right now?
Yeah.
Dana White is, bravo, sir. That's a great story.
Yeah, it's good. I don't know if we'll see any more, but there's also a reason why, the UFC has been so successful because they don't, that's their mindset on everything.
Yeah.
You do what you say what you believe, and like, we're not going to put a leash on you. We're going to put a muzzle on you. But also, like, during COVID, and like I said, there's also no forcing the league to shut down. You must get vaccinated. You must wear a mask, like the NFL forcing players to get vaccinated or they couldn't come to practice and such. Like, there's a reason why the UFC is dominating the other sports, because they got a leader like Dana White who has that sort of mindset on things. So I thought it was great.
So if a fighter wanted to come out in like a pink tutu and a skirt and identify as a woman, would he be okay with that?
Maybe not the tutu, but yeah, I don't think he'd have an issue.
He seems like the type that's the problem, is that the left wants to accept everyone and be but you can't be this, and you can say whatever you want, but not really. And you can't say this. And so it's so refreshing. I get the feeling for him. He'd be like, well, can the dude in the tutu fight? I don't care. As long as he can fight. That's refreshing.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's openly gay UFC fighters. They don't get treated any differently. It goes both ways. So
interesting. That's great.
Don't give me that look. Okay. I knew when I said it what I said. Okay.
Look, one of the buttons, we need to find this phrase and keep it on the board. I said what I said.
I said what I said.
I said what I said.
That does need to be a button. We just have this one in the meantime.
How about that? I love it. Yes.
How about that?
Yes, please.
That is becoming one of my favorites.
It's funny. I don't care who you are. That's funny.
Also, as we're wrapping up, another sports story. Did y'all see the Alabama-Arkansas basketball game earlier this week?
On Sports Center.
No.
I didn't watch it live either. I couldn't.
What happened?
It was game of the year. 117 to 115, double overtime. Arkansas had a player drop 49.
What?
Yeah. It was. He played every minute of the game. He didn't leave the game. Yeah. Phylon for Alabama dropped 35. It was crazy. It was a crazy game. Yeah. When I got in the car and I saw the box score, because I wasn't able to watch it live. I got home in time to see the double overtime, and I saw the score with about a minute left, and I go to the box score and I'm like, we let somebody drop 49 right now? What? It's pretty crazy.
That's
yeah, and Auburn
I ain't doing real well, Allison. Hate to tell you.
They may not make the tournament.
Yeah, that's bad.
Like, if they lose this weekend, they legitimately may be out.
Who are they playing?
I don't know. I'll go look that up, actually.
Okay, but I watched every game last year. I don't know,
because they were good.
Well, I would like to think I'm not that kind of fan, and that it's just a life thing going on. But do we just stink? Is it Steven? Is it because everybody left?
Ooh, they play Kentucky.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah. I think it's a mix of all. Auburn lost a lot of players. Janai Broom, pretty much all of their starting five except Ahad Pettiford left. So, they lost a lot of players, but then I think Bruce knew this is how the team was going to be. So that's why he left. And he left so late.
Why would you leave your son in that lurch?
It's a crapper.
That's a great question.
Bruce.
He left his son in that no-win position because he left so late. And it was, yeah. So, also, Keyshawn Hall, their best player, he did something and he's been disciplined. Like he didn't play. I'm not sure if he played on Wednesday, but he did not play Saturday.
Wait,
Oh, did he kill somebody? Oh no, that was Bama.
That was
Sorry.
Alabama. Who did
Allegedly.
you say? What's his name? Keyshawn
Hall.
Hall, not Murphy. Okay. All right. Got it.
Also, it wasn't the Bama player that pulled the trigger. I'll just have you know.
That was the other kid, but still.
I was just there driving the car during the thing.
I was in Tuscaloosa when that happened. You know what's funny? I gave Brandon Miller his food at Chick-fil-A that week after it happened.
No, you did
so,
not.
Like, it happened on Saturday, and the story was blowing up, and I look out the window, like, on Wednesday or Thursday, and there's Brandon Miller at the Chick-fil-A drive-thru.
Casual.
And he gave me his phone for Apple Pay, and he was on FaceTime with a girl as I took his phone, and I'm just staring at this girl he's on FaceTime with. It's it was a pretty crazy
thing.
So,
okay.
Yeah.
That's a thing. Can't believe you worked at Chick-fil-A.
I did for 6 months at Tuscaloosa.
Do they really use pickle juice in their brine?
Yeah,
yes.
they do.
Okay. When I make fried chicken, I use their recipe, but
It's
I
the
wanted to
only
know if
natural
it was real.
thing in it, Abs.
Yeah, and the powdered sugar.
Yeah.
And the MSG.
And the amount of sugar they put in their lemonade.
No, don't tell us. That is wrong. You just gave away trade secrets.
I'll
No
just
one
say
needs to know how many
It's a
calories
lot.
is in that lemonade.
It's a lot. Hey, before we go to break, don't you have to tell everybody about Inspire Advisors?
Why I do, because JP on Sports every week is brought to you by Inspire Advisors. If you have not heard of Inspire Advisors, you got to go check them out. Paul Breyer and his team will get you right. They do this thing called Biblically Responsible Investing, BRI, where they make sure your portfolio is in line with your Christian values so that you're not investing in anti-Christian or pro-LGBTQ, pro-abortion companies. They make sure none of that is in your portfolio. So you need to go check them out. It's Paul Breyer and his team at Inspire Advisors. Moneypatternwealth.com is their website. That's www.moneypatternwealth.com. And tell me her about it on Rightside Radio. And on the other side, we'll be right back.
You talk to us about that a little bit.
Yeah, I think, I'm 62 years old, turned 62 in December. This is the most pro-life administration that I've ever seen in my 6 decades plus of life. There's no question about it. The most pro-life administration that I've ever seen. I think the administration that is friendliest to religion and faith that I've ever seen. And President Trump has demonstrated that again and again. We stand for life. We stand for the fact that we know that life begins at conception. We respect life until life's natural end. We respect the dignity of the person. We want to make sure that we stand with individuals who believe those same things, and we do. The recent March for Life, you saw that Vice President Vance address the country. The next day, there was a breakfast that was basically for all of the youth, the young men and women who'd come into this country come into the city from across the country. There was a breakfast that morning. Jim O'Neill, the deputy secretary, and myself, we addressed those students, and there were over 2,000 people there. And we talked about the fact, what we're doing for life, the fact that we know little boys are little boys and little girls are little girls, the fact that we know life begins at conception, the fact that we are doing things like, for instance, through my office, the Office of the Assistant Secretary for Health, we administer the Title X funds. So let me tell you, so just recently, because of our oversight, directed by Secretary Kennedy, our oversight over Title X funds, $2.3 million of grants that had been given before us had to be returned by Planned Parenthood. $2.3 million that will no longer go to killing children. $2.3 million that will no longer go to lying to women. Because of our oversight, they gave that money back, which is a huge victory. Absolutely. We make sure that we're enforcing the Hyde Amendment. President Trump, Secretary Kennedy, and myself, we are strong for this. No federal dollars are going to go toward abortion or procuring abortion services. We are strong with the Hyde Amendment, and we are making sure the Hyde Amendment is being enforced, unlike the last administration. Yes. We have made sure that monies, that when you have youth, children or youths, young girls who are taken custody coming across the border or something, that federal dollars cannot go to providing abortion services, because that was going on in the last administration. Just totally disregarding the Hyde Amendment. We stand strong. That's no longer happening. So for those right-to-life issues, we've been incredibly strong about that, and we're very vocal about that. Again, one of the things that impresses me most about Robert F. Kennedy Jr., and he's always been this way, he really realizes that God has given an inherent dignity to every man, woman, and child, and we respect that dignity.
As an adopted person, and I know as an adoptive mother, we are so thankful for those policies. And as women who've lived through the nonsense, that the lies that have been heaped upon us, that you have to kill your child to have a life.
That's right.
We're very grateful for your stand in that regard.
Again, all of this is a privilege, but we have to do it for the country. We have to and we have to remember too that all of the wins that we have in this administration and this Department of Health and Human Services, it only takes one election cycle for things to reverse. And so we can talk about this more later, but it's incredibly important for us as conservatives, for us as people of faith, to be motivated to vote in November, to get out, support those candidates who stand with President Trump and his agenda. It's going to be more election. It's like, this is the most important. So I'm not going to use that hyperbole, but this is an incredibly important election in November. So I want all of the people, all of the men and women who watch this podcast, who listen to this podcast, and there are so many, I want them all to know, tell your friends, tell your families, we've got to be out there supporting candidates in congressional districts and Senate races that support the president in November.
You posted recently about gender affirming care, gender dysphoria, and kind of your work, and you just mentioned, right to life. That I would agree that is a life issue. Were you surprised when the American Medical Association came out recently and said that gender affirming care, genital mutilation, all that should be put off till adulthood? And do you think that we're maybe turning a corner on all this?
I think that is I'm so glad you asked that question because yes, so the American Medical Association is certainly backing away from its prior stance. It was the Academy of Plastic Surgeons. I think that's the right name. The Academy of Plastic Surgeons that said, and this is landmark, they said just this past week that we recommend that we don't do those mutilating surgeries, what we call the sex-rejecting surgeries on anybody under the age of 19. That is huge. That is huge. And I think we are turning this corner. We can never take our foot off the accelerator because I like to say that gender theory is like a vampire. It'll come back. You may think you've killed it, but it'll come back in the next hostile administration. So we always have to keep our foot on the accelerator for this, and we are, and I am, and President Trump certainly is. But yeah, I hope that we've turned a corner. I really do. This really started with, again, science. So we released at HHS, we released something called the Gender Dysphoria Report, and that was back in the fall. We released this report.
Welcome back to Rightside. I'm Amy Beth with Allison and JP. So because we have a short segment, why don't we take your text, read your comments, find out where you are today. JP.
By the way, so I think we said that Roberts sided, or I said Roberts sided with or was one of the dissenting judges. It was actually Kavanaugh, not Roberts.
Oh, that makes more sense.
So it was,
I was really shocked by that.
Kavanaugh, Alito, and Thomas were the dissenting justices.
Okay, good.
And Roberts he wrote the opinion for the majority.
Okay. Of course he did.
Yeah. Let's see. Jeremy from Madison. Jeremy, we may need to hear more about this. He said, I've lived in the Huntsville area my entire life. There's some things that fathers tell their sons, grandfathers tell their grandsons. There are two kinds of aliens, one big head, egg-shaped eyes, short gray, and two tall leathery skin wings like bats. At one point in time, you could walk up on the arsenal without any security. Kids in the 60s said that a mountaintop disappeared and appeared back a short time later like it was never gone, like they put something in the mountain. Security on the arsenal was so lax, a teenage boy stole a tank once.
Whoa.
Okay.
Wait,
speechless.
Wait, hold on. He only described one kind of alien.
Well, no, I think he was voice texting and it came across as one. So there's two kinds. One big head, egg-shaped eyes, short and gray. And there's a two tall, leathery skin, wings like bats.
I don't...
Okay.
Sorry. Y'all, I mean, what do you think? Do you think this is legit? I mean, what was his name? Jeff?
Jeremy from Madison.
Jeremy's grandfather's grandfather saw the aliens. Knows what they look like. Is this real?
I don't know. I think there's something to it.
Okay.
I don't know what they are, but I do think there are things there are beings.
So
They're demons.
I think so, because I'm a nerd. I did go print out Bible verses that reference aliens, demons, things unseen. Thought that was fair. See what the Bible says? It does say that our struggle is not against flesh and blood, but against rulers, authorities, powers of this dark world, and against spiritual forces of the heavenly realms. So I think there is an unseen. This page says unseen hostile spiritual reality. Revelation 12 describes a war in heaven where Michael fights the dragon, and the dragon and his angels are cast out to the earth. 2 Corinthians says Satan masquerades as an angel of light, suggesting deceptive supernatural beings. And Matthew talks about Jesus in the being tempted by the devil in the wilderness, showing direct interaction between the enemy and humans. So those are just a few. I think they are, if they're here. I think clearly would be demons. If people
they're
are
part
saying
of the
this,
spiritual world.
they're a part of the spiritual world, and the Bible calls them demons. And principalities is another word for them. That's the only way my brain can classify. But it also then proves the Bible to be true because it tells the truth.
Doesn't the Bible talk about frog-looking people somewhere? I feel like we had this conversation with Scott Beeson.
Maybe
one time.
in Revelation or in Daniel.
And if you really think about it, it looks like what they say, aliens.
Yeah.
I'm
Yes.
gonna have to
We have
Google
had this
that.
discussion.
Yeah.
Yes, we have.
I'm gonna look that one up.
And the whales in Ezekiel.
Yeah, weird stuff.
Oh.
Yeah. So something, but I believe it's to be demonic.
I don't know. People like to say that the universe is so big that surely there's other life out there. There's been research. I mean, America is, and I believe they call it the Goldilocks zone of prime for life. And so if there is life out there, they'd have to be so far away and so advanced to come find us. I don't know. I just think the possibilities are really low that there's other life out there, and that if there is, that we'd have any interaction with them. I do think there is something. I do think there's something to the alien story. I think there's bodies. I think there's probably craft. From stories I've seen of whistleblowers, a lot of the whistleblowers, their stories are a little too similar. Mm-hmm. So I think the possibilities of them being other life in the universe are low. And that's where.
But where do they come from?
Other dimensions, interdimensional beings. I don't know.
Or have they always been here and they were the angels cast out of heaven and now they're here?
Yeah. I don't know. I believe the Bible, and I think heaven and hell are other dimensions. It's like an Interstellar. It's based off the theory that the other dimension is around us and can't. So I mean, if you've got demons,
like crossing into
cross in and out. So that's my Christian belief. On top of the fact that I really don't think that there's other life out there that would be interacting with us. So well, we'll see what's in the files.
Man, my head is spinning. I have so many questions.
Do you want to do Clown World next to lighten the mood?
Yes,
please.
Yes, let's do that. On the other side, Clown World. We'll be back.
Y'all have heard us talk about Inspire Advisors, how Paul Breyer and his team at Inspire Advisors will help you grow your investment portfolio while also screening out companies that don't stand for conservative Christian principles.
Paul and his team are experts on what they call biblically responsible investing. And for a limited time, they're hosting a free class that you can register for.
Check out the class and register for free at moneypatternwealth.com. It's godly, it's conservative, and it's financial freedom.
Again, go to Inspire Advisors at moneypatternwealth.com. Check them out and tell them you heard about them at Rightside.
At all the science, and we said, no, the wrong way to treat these children is to perform castrating surgeries. The wrong way to treat these children is to use sex-rejecting chemicals and hormones. The right way to treat these children is with compassionate, competent mental health care. Now, personally, as a person of faith, I personally believe that if the child's parents want this, I think pastoral care is incredibly important to support these kids, right? But we initiated that report. The report was released, and then we did something even more. we had what was called the peer review of that report. So we invited scientists, not all of whom were aligned with us, to say, review this report. Tell us what you think. Put your politics aside, go by the science. And they had to say, you're right. The science backs up exactly what you're saying about this. So I think things like we're seeing with the plastic surgeons, things like hopefully we're going to be seeing more with the AMA, really the shot across the bow was the gender dysphoria report. Because, again, Secretary Kennedy has always said, we use gold standard science to guide our decisions. That's gold standard science. Those kind of things, sex-rejecting surgeries, horrible chemicals and mutilations, that's not the way to treat these kids. I am not going to take my foot off the accelerator on this because, like I said, it is a vampire. If we don't stake it through the heart and if we don't kill this whole gender theory, it's going to come back in the next hostile administration. No question about it. So we're doing great things with that. And that, as far as values, very important to the president, very important to the vice president, very important to Secretary Kennedy and myself.
Can I ask a follow-up question real quick?
Yeah.
Don't forget what you were about to say. Okay. So RFK's ideas, like inverting the food pyramid, are seen as kind of controversial. Some of his suggestions on treatments and things like that. To me, there's more science behind what he's saying than what we've been told for all these years. Yeah. I think now, especially after COVID, we're seeing, wait a second, have we been lied to? You're all changing the vaccine schedule for childhood vaccines is huge. But how do you balance that? And do you see much pushback? Because you're saying gold standard science, but a lot of it, people are like, this is new to them.
Well, you know, science is dynamic.
Right.
It's not static. Science changes over time. I'm a physician. I'm a surgeon. I'm a scientist. The way I do things, and I've closed my practice to be in this job, but the way I did things, for instance, in 2025 when I was still practicing, were very different than I was trained 20 years earlier or even 10 years earlier because science is dynamic and changes. And that's what Secretary Kennedy has said. What he has said is we always follow the science, but we have to be nimble enough and we have to be honest enough to say that if the science leads us in a different direction than it has in the past, that we are brave enough and we care enough about this country to make those changes. And that's exactly what you're seeing. You know, you mentioned about the vaccines. I mean, let me be very clear about this. And this, I'm glad you brought this up, Allison, because this is very important. Secretary Kennedy has not taken a vaccine away from anyone. Despite what the lying left will tell you, he has not taken a vaccine away from anyone. Now, what he has said is that we want people to decide what's right for themselves. Yes. We want parents to decide what's right for their kids. We want to put knowledge in their hands so they can make the best decision for them. He has not taken a vaccine away from anyone or anybody. Vaccines are still available. We did look at the recommendations, what the vaccine, the child vaccine schedule should be. And it wasn't just this was willy-nilly. No, what happened is the president said, we need to look at this. And so what did we do? We went and we compared the vaccine schedule for children for other countries, other peer countries, countries like ourselves, advanced countries, and said, what are they doing? And we looked and found out that what we were doing was not in line, and they had good science backing them up. So all we did was we went from 17 to 10 vaccinations recommended, but we're not preventing anybody from getting a vaccine. What we've simply done is look at the science and say, this is what the science suggests. So Robert F. Kennedy has not pulled vaccines from anybody. He's not preventing anybody from getting a vaccine. He's simply saying, Mom and Dad, you make the decision for your kids. What we're not going to have in this administration is a government forcing and mandating vaccines into our bodies or medicines down our throat or advocating for cutting our children's body parts off for some left radical, really sick ideology.
I mean, we talk about all the time the regret we have. Like, in
Awful.
what world is it a good idea to take your 6-week-old and get jabbed with 4 different chemicals in one? I mean, but we trusted our doctors, and I think our doctors were just doing what they were told in medical school based on science. So very grateful for that, because I feel like Abs and I are always like, we need to go apologize to our kids.
We really
should know better.
Well, I think it's, again, we have to be led by science, like I said, but we have to empower patients. I mean, as a surgeon, I lived and died by informed consent. I had patients who I said, maybe I diagnosed a prostate cancer, and I said, here's your treatment options, sir. Here's what I think is best. Here's the options. what's right for you. And if they made a decision that I disagreed with, I didn't abandon them.
Mm-hmm.
I said, I respect you. We respect people's right, or we respect their intellect to make a decision for themselves. It's all about informed consent. What you will never see this administration, and what you will never see me or Secretary Kennedy or Dr. Oz or Dr. Bhattacharya, you'll never see us try to force our personal agenda on people. We'll always be guided by science, and we'll always give them the ability to make the decisions for their own health.
And you would think post-COVID, people would be thrilled for that. And yet there still seems to be pushback on that idea. There's pushback on the COVID vaccine still. I have young grandchildren. It's still pushed on them. Can you speak to that at all? Because it's unbelievable. Welcome back to Rightside. I am Amy Beth with Allison and JP. And because it's Friday, you'll probably already know what we're about to do. And I can't wait because we need this. We need this right now. Okay. Lighten the mood. Have a little fun. Have maybe some satire.
Can we find that song though? For when we do Clown World?
Copyright.
Ah,
dang it. Copyright
Stupid.
violations.
YouTube. I mean, we could do it. But
Can we sing it?
Yeah.
I can't sing.
But if
So
we
you
play
can
it,
sing it.
we can play it. If we play it, we're not going to make money off of the stream on YouTube.
Oh, okay. Just kidding.
Okay, we can't lose those millions. That would be bad.
Mm.
You're right.
Mm.
So what's our intro for Clown World?
This.
White people, stop including yourselves in Black creators' content. Every time a Black creator comes on any social media platform and they talk about the struggles and the things that the Black community has to go through and experience, there's always somebody in the comments, more than likely a white person, that wants to come in and say, but no, everybody needs to be equal. Everybody needs equal pay. Everybody needs to be treated this way. Everybody needs to be supported. This is not about you.
That's racist! Pretty cool! Pretty damn cool! Woo!
We know that this is real. We know that this is not some far-fetched idea. We've seen this kind of attempt to reverse history happen before. We've seen it systematically attack Voting Rights Act. Just last week, the SAVE Act was passed in the House under the auspices of stopping illegal immigrants from or undocumented individuals from voting. Well, we know that's already illegal.
That doesn't make sense.
The mayor, with the greatest respects, in every campaign speech, in every debate where you engage, we opened our ears to listen. Now today, accept the words echoing from us now. Do your job as mayor and leave our taxes out.
You mentioned the Paxton case, and the AGs in many states are very clear about that. They're almost jubilant about being able to use these laws to ban young people from accessing content that could be educational if they are queer.
What?
I forgot that not everybody can see the video, and they're probably confused about the.
Oh, that guy was
Kid Rock.
Oh, the Kid Rock.
Yeah, because it didn't have any words with it. Okay. Can I start with a question first?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the one where he's standing out telling the mayor to do his job and stay out of their taxes. I didn't get that. What was the reference in that one?
Those were, let me pull up exactly who they were, but they were people that I believe voted for Mamdani and are now upset with how he is ruling. And so it's almost like they should have listened to the fact that this is Mamdani's platform from the beginning, but now they're upset with what they voted for pretty much.
Because he's raising their taxes and saying they're going to have to raid all the rainy day funds and all the, like, they're basically to do what he said they were going to do. They're going to have to take all their savings and raise their taxes.
Yes.
And so now these biscuits are like, don't raise it.
Yeah.
Where did you think the money was coming from?
Exactly. Yeah. So it's pretty much the New Yorkers. It's the useful idiots that think that you could implement certain, like implement socialism without stealing from people. So that was New Yorkers who were like, wait, no, we don't want it done like this.
Buried in the word free is you and me. It's not like actually in that word.
I was really trying to
It was a rhyme, but within free is you and me.
Yeah.
That's us. There's nothing free.
pockets.
But they know that now. It's kind of like with Spanberger in Virginia. Everybody's like, we are having buyer's remorse.
Are they? I haven't seen that.
Well, there's a couple of weeks ago, remember we played that video of the young, I guess she's a military person, was very upset about how expensive her rent was. Is this the same thing here? Apparently the streets are gnarly in NYC. Refuse isn't being picked up.
Did you see when all the snow melted and there was like
that is disgusting.
human poop everywhere?
That is disgusting.
No, I didn't.
Yes.
Have they tried the free pop-up grocery store yet? I saw a rumor that was going to be a thing. What did y'all think was going to happen? Oh, also all the calls to prayer. Are y'all enjoying that?
Is that true? I think I
Yes.
saw that, but I didn't know if it was
Yes.
actually true. So all the calls to prayer are happening
Yes.
through New York City.
Mhm. They used to have noise ordinances. They don't. Not for this. So, guys, you could have a recall election.
So smart. Oh yeah. You know, we don't have recall in Alabama.
Why not?
I don't know.
Oh boy, that would save us a lot of heartache.
We could use it.
Yeah. Let's declare it now.
Who do we need to talk to?
I don't know.
Probably people that won't talk to us.
It's usually the way it goes.
It's funny how that works.
Oh, isn't that funny? So funny. Yeah, we have. Never mind. I won't go. Into that. All right. Kennedy, RFK Jr., and Kid Rock. If you haven't seen it, they put together a whole montage of them working out together, and I don't know why. I thought that was the funniest thing.
It is pretty funny.
And
First of all, Kennedy is jacked. Okay.
He is jacked.
he is ripped.
How old is he?
I'm going to throw a number out. 72.
That's what I was going to go with.
He's 72.
Shut up. Really?
No, he is.
Wow.
We
He's
got
72, and I still don't know why he wears jeans everywhere.
Probably to show off his
No,
muscles.
in this video, he does a cold plunge, and he's in his jeans in the cold plunge.
Maybe he wants the effects to last even longer because you know how that sticks to you. You know?
Freezing.
God, I hate cold plunging.
Oh, gosh, what a terrible idea.
But they're telling everybody it's their public service announcement. It says at the end, it says HHS and Kid Rock, and it's get out and eat good and work out. And so they go through this whole workout thing, and Kid Rock's like punching back. I don't know. They look like two 12-year-old boys going to play in the gym.
It's cool. It's funny,
actually kinda
but
cute.
it is funny. Yeah.
It's cute.
What y'all think about the last person that said that the age verification laws are keeping content that could be educational to you if you're queer?
Tell me you're a perv
Yeah,
without telling
Well,
me.
they're
you're
a tranny.
they are.
Yeah. That's a dude in earrings and a dress. So Alabama just passed age verification on all apps, and it actually has been kind of controversial.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not exactly sure that the argument is that it can lead to like digital ID, because now you're going to have a parent put in their ID. I think I'm correct on this.
Yeah,
Is this
you're right. You're right.
You're going to have a parent, if you have a minor, put their ID, scan their driver's license or whatever to be able for that app to be put on the child's phone. So where is all that stored? On one hand, I'm kind of like, they've got us everywhere. I go to the airport and I decline the facial scan every time. But I've passed 9 million cameras as I've
Yes.
walked into the airport. It's really stupid. I do it just to be a pain in the butt, actually, and just to be a little bit of friction there. But how do we feel about this?
On the face, it sounds great. I can understand that parents would want that age verification. but these companies do have us everywhere and they already have our kids' information. Why would you give them one more piece? We want to control the content. I understand that. That makes sense. But have you met a kid? They can use your phone and get around it. I mean, they're so much smarter. It's like their job on earth when they're in young adulthood is to outwit, outplay, and outlast any adult
So
in the
true.
room.
Yeah, it's really true. And there are already ways to limit content on phones and computers and things. Again, my kids always found ways around it.
Ugh.
I don't know how, but I don't know how I feel about, I am for protecting children. I don't love it when the government has to come in and do the job, but we do it to buy cigarettes and liquor and vapes.
Not to vote, though.
Tattoos. No.
Yeah, because that's racist.
That's
racist.
racist.
Because we may not even have an ID.
So that's what he was saying. The SAVE Act was racist.
Yeah, it's pretty much bringing back Jim Crow.
Sure.
Hmm.
Okay.
And do we believe that?
No.
Okay.
No. Obviously not. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just common sense logic. But he's racist in assuming that black people can't get an ID.
Yep.
Could we just have somebody one time when they say idiotic things like that, just laugh in their face?
Everybody on that Zoom call was like nodding.
Yeah, I know, right?
You're right.
It's an echo chamber.
Drank
You're
the Kool-Aid.
right. It's really, you're right. We're 55 and we've never purchased alcohol because we do not have an ID. It's so sad. Weird. I think they're going to have to come up with a new argument.
Oh, finally, the lady who said that white people can't jump into black content.
Does that mean we can't listen to black music? Is that like we can't do any of that?
She didn't really define her terms. And so I think it's up to us to decide. But you guys, y'all cannot comment. I can only half comment.
Yeah, you can. That's better. You can almost.
I really feel.
You know, I.
What?
Yeah.
Nope.
Aren't we tired of that? I mean, aren't we tired of the same conversation?
Yes. Stupid.
When are we going to grow out of it?
Those people will not grow out of it because they're convinced of its truth.
Why can't we just be humans? Just be people. And all types of people. Yeah. But no. All goes back to that. We got to take a break.
That we do.
This new clock, this new set timer is keeping us on track because we're like a minute ahead.
Yeah. So, maybe we should put it like 5 minutes ahead.
So
that'd be good.
We're actually on schedule for once.
Yes.
When we come back, we'll have a short little segment of some news. Well, no, are we going to do the 3?
We can do that at 4:30.
Okay.
And then we can do text or news. Well, we'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out. It'll be a Friday surprise. We'll be back.
We've learned after the evidence that's presented itself, that there would be any pushback at all, that we'd say, no, we really do want to make the decision for ourselves. We want to make the decision for our children. We're not anti-science. We're not vaccine deniers.
That's exactly right.
That's not who we are.
We aren't. I've heard Secretary Kennedy say in his confirmation hearing, just like I said in my confirmation hearing, listen, we know vaccines can save lives. We also know not every vaccine is the same. We also know not every vaccine is right for every individual. So you would think people would be happy to have us be able and empower folks to make their own decisions. But again, I think there are those on the left, there are those who hate the president, they hate the secretary, they really hate the ability of people to think for themselves.
Yes.
Right? So they don't support our agenda, which our agenda is health and freedom.
And we're so glad. So I'll save it.
No, if you're on the track, go. Stay
Well,
on the
I
track.
wanted to talk food pyramid.
Oh, that's
good.
actually where I was going to go.
Okay, perfect. Same brain as always.
Great. I'm glad because this is important. The new dietary guidelines are absolutely incredible. They are amazing. And so what law requires is that at least every 5 years, new guidelines come out. And so when you look at the guidelines from the past, particularly the recommendations that were made by the prior administration, It was just pushing highly processed, highly sugary, fake food on the American people. Why do we have an obesity epidemic in this country among kids, among adults? At least part because of the junk food that are pushed down our throat. Now, our dietary guidelines do, just like you said, Allison, we've taken the pyramid and we flipped it. What we are doing now is we are emphasizing protein. We're emphasizing whole foods, nutrient-dense foods. We're emphasizing protein gotten through meats and fish, eggs. We're emphasizing whole fat dairy because that's really healthy. We're telling people, don't be afraid of saturated fat in your diet, right? Don't be afraid. Fat is not our body needs fat.
Yep.
Our nervous system needs fat. We have to have fat. Now, we aren't saying go out and overindulge in fat, but what we're saying is don't be afraid of it. We're saying get your protein, get your nutrients, get your carbohydrates from whole nutrient-dense food and move away from sugary, fake, processed food. That's all we've said. And I'm telling you, this is going to make a difference in the health of this country, and it makes a difference in affordability. And I really want to touch on that as we talk more about it.
Yeah. Quick question before we do jump into affordability, because I think that's on everybody's mind. What took so long? Why wasn't the food pyramid inverted before now?
That is a great question. Tell you, there are a lot of forces out there. There's a lot of big pharma. There's a lot of big agriculture. A lot of individuals with a lot of money who really love to see sugary processed foods. Think about that. If you can get kids and adults in this country eating, and I don't want to pick on any particular product, but eating a sugary cereal for breakfast every morning, that's a heck of a lot of money that you make in your pocket as that industry. So there's a reason to push those foods. I think that's part of it. But one thing I will say about Secretary Kennedy is I've described him as being a John the Baptist for our times, because he has been a voice crying out in the wilderness, we're poisoning our kids. We're over-medicalizing people. We are destroying this country from within by bad health decisions. He's been a voice crying out, and so flipping the pyramid, making this is just an example of the kind of radical change that we see with this administration and Secretary Kennedy, all for the good.
I just have to say that I'm really, about a year and a half ago, I cut out all seed oils. I actually upped my salt intake. I add in like organic avocado oil or olive oil. Like I actually add oil to things. I mean, and it flies in the face of everything. I mean, I promise Lucky Charms were the base of the food pyramid when I was growing up.
I understand exactly what you're saying, because I do too. Like, yesterday for breakfast, before I flew down, made myself some eggs for breakfast, and I poured some olive oil on them, a little bit of salt and pepper,
some ghee.
Yeah, you don't be afraid of those things.
Right.
Our guidelines teach us to eat the way our bodies have always been meant to eat. Right. Not Lucky Charms or whatever the sugary garbage food you want, right? No, not that. Eat whole foods. Right. Eat nutrient-dense foods. And listen, affordability plays a role, or the guidelines rather play a role in affordability. People don't think about this. If you eat the way the guidelines suggest, in other words, if you go out and you buy a pound of ground beef, how many hamburger patties can you make from that? You can feed your whole family, as opposed to going to buy one lousy food, burger from some company out there that's a fake food. If you eat the way the guidelines suggest, whole fruits and vegetables, whole nutrient-dense food, it is cheaper. It will put money in Americans' pockets. It is affordability immediately in your pocket. I know, because I've done it. I've looked at this, and I do it now, and I tabulate what I would normally spend if I were not following our guidelines. You're going to save money by doing that, and in the long run, our country will.
Welcome back to Rightside Radio. I'm Amy Beth. She's Allison, and JP. And JP, before we get to 4:30 and the 3, does everybody have their story ready for the 3 at 4:30?
Ready.
Okay.
I'm still deciding.
Okay. There's a lot of news out there today. It's a whole thing. But before we do that, what about text?
Let's see here first. We got Thomas from Athens who says, I guess the people who voted for ma'am damn it and are upset with his actions have no brains that can do math or logic.
Yeah.
By the way, Michael from Taft, Tennessee, he says that Redstone Arsenal has several hundred bunkers that if you get close to them, you have guards all over you.
I'm sorry. When are we going to try to go on?
We can't. You can't get on Redstone without a military ID.
Could you get on Redstone the back way?
What does
Is there
that?
any like? Is there any forest that it backs up?
I think that's
to?
a terrible idea.
Yeah, not a great idea. So my grandfather, when he was alive, worked on the Arsenal during his military career, and he would take us on the Arsenal to like bowl and stuff when he still had his military ID. It is on lockdown. Okay, like guard posts won't open the fence unless you provide ID. Like whenever my grandfather would give us the ID, the guard would like look in the back at like the car. Like you are not getting.
So you are on a high level.
Yeah. It's
yeah.
I failed to appreciate that.
it's legit.
Okay.
As it should be if you've got allegedly alien spacecraft on Redstone.
Allegedly.
Well, forget all the missiles and all the things that are there. That's no big deal, right?
No, it's a big deal, but we're focused on the aliens right now.
Well, I will say it makes me laugh. You know, our friend that we met with up in Huntsville, when I was like, wait, can we go on a field trip? And they all like, just kind of stared at me.
You know.
Like they didn't want to be mean. I don't think I realized what I was asking for.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Wow.
We're honest.
And y'all remember when we were passing the Arsenal, there was that military helicopter doing like low flying.
Yes.
And one time when I was driving past it not too long ago, one of those like SUV sized drones was flying over the interstate.
That freaks me out. Those suckers.
It's pretty cool.
Every time. Okay.
Let's see. This first time texter says there are no aliens, just people with different gifts.
Huh. That's interesting.
I don't know.
An interesting perspective.
Well, okay. I'm gonna have to think about that one.
Let's see. We got David from Huntsville says, does this ruling mean that past presidents that invoked presidential or executive powers acts in the past to impose tariffs did so unconstitutionally? I don't think so. I think this was just ruling that Trump's specific tariffs, the 10% globally, did not fall under the emergency powers of the president to impose tariffs.
Now,
which I would
if he had
disagree.
named every single country, would that have been better?
Like each individual country and each one passed Congress.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But yeah, so they're ruling that did not fall under the Emergency Act for the president just to unilaterally impose the tariff, which I would disagree. But I guess 6 of the judges didn't.
Hey,
didn't
you're
agree
not
with
a
me.
Supreme Court justice. I'm sorry.
I guess I'm
to
not.
Tell you.
That's news to me.
Yeah, I know. I
Yeah.
know. In your head, you could be.
In my opinion, whatever Clarence Thomas rules is correct.
That I am 100%. Thomas and Alito, those are my dudes.
Yep.
I don't know. We got about 30 seconds left, but I'm seeing a lot of people, a lot of the libertarian leaning people that are saying or agreeing with this ruling and saying that this is upholding the Constitution and that if a Democrat came in office, yada yada. My main argument is it is an emergency how much we rely on everybody globally and cannot produce our own manufacturing. And that should be emergency enough for the president to impose. Now, could the president and the administration maybe done a better job to where this wouldn't have gotten struck down? You could argue that. But in terms of the tariffs, I'm fully for. I think that should have happened. But I don't know. Maybe the administration should have made it a little more safe, instead of just saying 10% now. I don't know how you could have done it better. So I don't have a you should have done it this way answer, but it's frustrating because I think even if you're going to say upheld the Constitution, we got to have the tariffs.
I'm thinking the emergency part was important too. Like what constitutes an emergency.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be interesting to see how it gets fleshed out over the weekend through all the talking heads and Sunday shows.
We will be watching. Actually, I try not to on the weekend so much. Y'all keep me posted. Okay, we'll be back with the 3 on the other side.
JP here with Rightside. I need to remind you that Inspire Advisors is one of our sponsors, and they are doing amazing work. We know this audience, and you're the kind of folks who believe in standing up for your principles and being good stewards of your resources. What if the companies you're invested in don't reflect your values at all? That's why you need to meet Paul Breyer and his team at Inspire Advisors. Inspire Advisors, they are experts in the field of biblically responsible investing. They can help you grow your bottom line while also being proud of what companies you invest in. Inspire Advisors, you got to go check them out. Here's their website, www.moneypatternwealth.com, and tell them you heard about it on Rightside Radio.
There will be less obesity, there will be less heart disease, less chronic disease, and things will be cheaper that way too. But there's immediate affordability with our guidelines if people really try it out, if people really embrace these guidelines.
How do you respond, though, when people say, well, what about the food deserts? What about the rural areas that don't have access to whole, fresh foods?
I think that's great. No, I think that's a real concern. How do we water those food deserts, if you will? And that's important, and we're certainly working on that. You know, there's the rural health transformation, $50 billion from the federal government that will go to certain states. Alabama has received over $200 million of that. That, I think, $203 million was the statistic that I got this morning when I was checking on that. What's that going to go to? Bringing better health care to rural areas like we have in Alabama and other states, bringing quality health care, improving health care outcomes, educating people about the right foods to eat. And yes, there's a role for trying to get rid of these food deserts as well. But there's so much going on in this administration that we're doing that are win, 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 win. It's promises made, promises kept by President Trump, Secretary Kennedy, and everybody, all of us who work at the Department of Health and Human Services.
Could we talk a little bit more? I remember years ago the rural medicine push. My husband's a gastroenterologist, so I was with him, remembering hearing all of that. Seemed to get better. Now it seems that we're back scrambling, trying to get that rural healthcare situated again. Mm-hmm. Can you talk to us about that in a little more in depth?
Sure. I think this is the perfect example of how President Trump cares about everybody in this country. You know, we don't just care as conservatives and as Republicans and as members of this administration. We don't care just about the big cities. We care about every part of the country, and we certainly have rural areas that they are facing challenges for healthcare access. And so this rural health transformation is hopefully going to help improve those situations. Again, like I said, $50 billion going out to states, our own state, Alabama benefiting, other states benefiting as well. But no, President Trump realizes we have to make America greater than she's ever been. We have to make America healthier than she's ever been. And this is going to be part of that.
That's great.
Are there any other issues that you want to touch on or things you're working on? And initiatives?
Sure. I want to say one thing about some values issues, and then I would like to talk about some things we're doing for affordability and such in the administration.
Yeah, and talk about Trump RX, because are y'all part of that?
Yeah.
Okay.
So the idea, the Trump RX, great idea. The idea being is that people are going to be able to be linked up with ways to get the most affordable drugs they can. Again, this is going to put money in people's pockets immediately and today. Trump RX is a great program. Again, helping people to get linked up to get the drugs that they need at the lowest prices they can get. So yes, incredibly important. The last on the values issues, going back for just a second, one of the things that I think is incredibly important is that we see the rise, unfortunately, in this country of what people will say physician-assisted suicide. I call it euthanasia. I call it physicians and nurses helping murder people. We see this on the rise in this country. If you look at countries like Canada, it's one of the leading causes of death. Yeah. Canada was so proud of itself, this was several months ago, because someone who had been, who had euthanasia, who chose to die by their own hand or a doctor's hand, they donated those organs. That's a horrible precedent to set.
Good grief.
We have states in this country that have adopted bills or adopted those laws. I think most recently it is Governor Pritzker in Illinois has signed a bill into law to allow euthanasia. Governor Hochul is considering that. She will probably sign that in New York. Listen, we've been down this road before. If you look back in the 30s and 40s in Germany, the T4 program, which was the euthanasia program, to relieve the society of the burden of life, quote, they said, life unworth living. Since when do we become God and judge? No life is unworth living. That doesn't mean there's not suffering. But when you say, I take the most vulnerable.
Welcome back to Right Side. I'm Amy Beth with Allison and JP. Okay.
You just look so confused.
JP,
Who?
What time is it?
Time for El Trace. For
love that.
For our English-speaking friends, that means the 3.
The 3 at 4:30. Okay, ish. Okay. Which one of you are first?
You go first.
Me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm doing a mini hot flash.
A mini hot flash.
Yeah.
Okay, you got a mini hot flash news because people are going to think you're having a hot flash on.
Yeah, okay, that's what I meant. Mini flashing hot news.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. Insider Papers reporting that a spike in Earth vibrations could be scrambling brains with bizarre ringing noise.
What?
A weather watchdog has reported an uptick in Earth's hum-like heartbeat, raising concerns that it could be affecting people's brains. Do you think that's why we're all so tired today?
I bet it is.
Like we really all, maybe it started humming at about 3, because about 3 o'clock, we all just kind of dipped.
Well, I know it was for me. I drank my Monster and I was like,
ready to go.
And then right after JP on Sports, I had to make a coffee. Yeah.
That's true.
Oh, so you just double down.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I guess look out if your brain feels scrambled. It might just be okay. It's just a spike in vibrations. So NBC is reporting that parents are starting to opt out of school laptops. Praise Jesus. No lie, that was the dumbest thing every state did. Like there is something about a pencil and a piece of paper and a textbook. We need to get these Chromebooks out of the classrooms, out of our homes. So I say that. Looks like people around the country are rising up. We should do the same. I'm ready to dip on
I remember
that.
when they made that shift. I was in like 4th grade
Yeah.
and we went from textbooks to laptops.
My kids were so excited, and I am so sad we ever did it. Huge mistake.
Go to computer class. We need to know keyword. We need to know how to type. But that's about it. The rest they can figure out. They're geniuses. They can figure it out, not at school. This is interesting. New Mexico launches investigation into bodies of 2 minors allegedly strangled to death at Epstein Ranch after, let's say, inappropriate contact. So that's the Zorro Ranch that Epstein owned that's out in New Mexico. And because of the Epstein files, they have relaunched an investigation. The idea is that there are 2 bodies buried there near the ranch. All right, Les Wexner yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
This is right before his attorney told him that he was going to blank kill. His attorney leaned over, whispered in his ear on a hot mic and said, "I will blank kill you if you answer another question with more than 5 words." What he said right before that, Les Wexner just confirmed that Epstein worked for the Rothschilds family, the architects of the Federal Reserve, as well as Jeff Bezos and Google. Illuminati confirmed.
Illuminati confirmed.
You know,
Literally.
all those families.
That is kind of crazy. And the fact that he caught him on the hot mic too. Like he had to have known.
And how awkward.
Uh-huh.
And that attorney is smiling the whole time. It's very creepy. It's like the Joker.
So creepy. Because it all gets back to one thing. The whole thing.
What's that?
It's stuff we've talked about before, but go on. I'll say in a second.
Okay, my last one. Thomas Massie introduced the No Immunity for Glyphosate Act to undo the recent executive order, which promotes glyphosate and insulates manufacturers from liability. Go, Thomas Massie.
Please.
Okay, that was my mini hot flash.
So I'm just following up because I found something out that you just mentioned, but really I have a sports story and mine's quick.
Ooh.
But first, I didn't put together, maybe you can piece this together, that the Epstein's occultist, Rothschild's Satanist, do we know why they've done any of the things that they're doing?
Are we going back to the depopulation thing? Are we going back to
It's something that
humanity?
you have talked about before. Head in that depopulation direction. And this is from Whitney Webb. You know how we've listened to her in the past. She's written a lot about corruption. She now lives in Chile because she has to stay in hiding. This is, she's on a podcast with a husband and wife that he used to be on Fox News.
Okay.
But she talks about the point. I don't know if you've heard of the movie of Eyes Wide Shut.
Yes, and I've never seen it.
Apparently, we're not supposed to see it.
It's really bad, isn't it?
Really, really bad.
Okay.
But she suggests that the point of the occultist and the Satanist together, they see us as their serfs. That's how they see humanity. So no matter what they do with kids, no matter what they do, they don't care. But it is really to erase religiousness through technology. It's all about a new form of eugenics, aka transhumanism. That's really what they're after. And I listened to the podcast and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is horrifying. I'll send it to you. It's Clayton Morris. You remember when he used to be on Fox?
Yeah.
He and his wife do an amazing podcast. And Whitney Webb has written some killer, well-researched, incredible books. Very much an authority. I think she's an agnostic. But if you want to know about transhumanism, that's her jam. This is her specialty, along with corruption and the corrupt families. She lays out the Clinton administration, Clinton Foundation, blah, blah, blah. But when she said it all points toward a new eugenics, transhumanism, I was like, through technology.
What is transhumanism for those that don't know? What's the definition?
Elon Musk is one who believes in transhumanism, and it's basically wanting to use technology to outsource, if we die, implant things in our brain that they think they could have us live forever. Basically,
transhumanism is a philosophical movement that advocates for enhancing the human condition through advanced technology such as genetic engineering and artificial intelligence to improve longevity, cognition, and overall well-being. So you're like going to live forever.
This is what they think. Instead of submitting to God, let's just try all these crazy things. And these human subjects, they're just what we're going to use to try to get to that. It sounds insane because they are insane. But I thought that was really interesting.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. That's scary.
It's very scary. I'll
Is that where like the pods where you can grow babies in the pods? You don't even need a human anymore. Everything is just genetic, or everything is just created in a lab.
I don't know.
Transhumanism. You don't even need humans.
But the super ultra elites like the Rothschilds and the Day Rothschilds, which is the French side of the family, those people hate the rest of us and they think we're here just to serve them. And so, but their end is transhumanism, and they will use us to get that so that they can live forever. Sounds horrible. And it sounds ridiculous. So that's just, food for thought for the weekend. My little happy bit of good news is 10 seconds long, but it's not really good news. The Chicago Bears are moving to Indiana.
That's so funny to me.
I saw that.
And they already have a petition, I think, to oust the mayor. I'm going to look.
What mayor?
That terrible new mayor. Is it?
Oh, the Chicago mayor?
Yeah.
Brandon Johnson.
Yeah. They're a petition to force his resignation is already gaining steam. So
Are they going to be called the Indiana Bears now?
Good job, Bears.
What are they going to call them?
I don't know. They got to stay the Chicago Bears, I assume.
Yeah.
Yes, they're going to be the Indiana Bears. I saw the logo.
Oh, really?
Yeah. No, sorry. I'm just re-engaging because I was thinking about, did y'all read the file that was in the Epstein files that says the Illuminati families and their associates? I sent it to y'all.
Oh, I saw you sent it, but I didn't read it.
Oh,
anyway,
gosh.
Bears. Yes. Bears. They'll still be Bears. They'll just be
The IB.
Indiana's.
The Bears.
Yeah.
The Bears.
The Bears.
Well, you know what? Your city's crap. So no wonder they want to move over to Indiana.
I don't know though. Y'all, we went to Chicago like 2 summers ago for a Cubs game. I felt way safer we weren't like in the sketchy parts, I feel way safer in downtown Chicago than I do in downtown Birmingham.
I love Chicago. Absolutely love it.
I've never been outside of the airport.
I love it.
But there are definitely places where you will die.
And you just don't go there. You just stay near Gino's Pizza and the Miracle Mile and you shop, and go to games. Okay, JP, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Well, I mean, it's going to be the same story for me because we're going to keep talking about it until it actually happens. So the USS Gerald R. Ford entered the Strait of Gibraltar today en route to the Mediterranean Sea, and it's supposed to be there by Saturday. I'm going to lob this up there. I'm not making a prediction. I just think it's interesting. So when the first Iran strikes happened, Trump the week before, or a couple of days before, like in the middle of the week, said that Iran had 2 weeks. And when the markets closed on Friday, Saturday, the strikes happened. What did Trump say yesterday or 2 days ago? Iran's got 10 days. And apparently all of our forces will be there and ready for strikes by Saturday.
Oh.
What if, and also there's reports by Axios and others that Trump is considering a, quote, limited strike to pressure them into a deal first. So what if the 10-day was a head fake? Gerald R. Ford is going to get there Saturday. Markets close Friday. Strikes happen and try to pressure them into a deal. I'm not making a prediction. I just think it's interesting because of how it happened the first time. So I don't know. We could see limited strikes starting Saturday to, quote, pressure Iran into a deal. And then if that doesn't happen, then there'll be more broader strikes. But the Gerald R. Ford ship is on its way. We'll be there by this weekend. So I see a bunch of people. Is it Todd Starnes?
Yeah.
He tweeted, better get your oil filled or your gas filled up before Saturday. So even a bunch of the mainstream conservatives are. So I don't know. I'm not saying it's going to, but it could.
I think you just put your thinking cap on.
I'm
impressed.
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
That was good.
Trump, I don't know. Why would you give? There's also the part of it too that a lot of the stories, they know the Iranians are seeing them, but I don't know. If you're Trump, I don't think Trump purposely says in the next 10 days. Like, I think that was an intended head fake, and then we could. I don't know. We'll have to see. But I will be filling up my car with gas after the show.
Same. On my way home from dinner, I'm getting gas.
Why not?
Yeah.
It can't hurt, can it?
No, it can't.
No. All right.
Okay.
I think that was good. Proud of you, JP.
Thank you.
Look at you putting the dots together.
It's not Thinker Thursday.
But you used your brain.
Yeah.
I'm proud of you.
Good.
Thank you.
All right. One more segment, then it's the weekend. Are we playing Would You Rather or Never Have I Ever?
We'll come up with something.
Okay, we'll do something fun. We'll be back.
Kids with a terrible cancer or adults at the end of their life, and we say that life is not worth living, so we're going to kill them off. That's a huge problem. It is a really dark slope, a really dark precedent, and I feel very strongly about that. I have an op-ed that I wrote that is going to be released on Breitbart that addresses this. That is something we take very seriously in this administration.
It's one you don't really think about.
You really don't. And yet, I think maybe it was Francis Schaeffer way back in the 70s who said that if we are going to allow abortion, the logical conclusion can only be euthanasia. And back then you go, oh, that's ridiculous. And here we are.
Right. I mean, let's face it. We remember what Bill Clinton, safe and rare, talking about abortion. Right now, what is it? Now it's Katie bar the door, all the way up until the day of birth, or goodness gracious, during labor. So you're right. You look at something like that, and that person was a prophet so long ago to talk about that.
So could we values issue your choice because you're you?
Yep.
Values issue, or could we go to affordability for one quick second? I wanted to ask you about PBMs and where things stand with pharmacy benefit managers, because as I understand it, y'all are working on that.
That's right.
Helping people make drugs more affordable. We have someone in our household who takes a medication, and without help, it is a ridiculous price. So we're very thankful for the work that you're doing. But could you speak to the pharmacy benefit manager and their role in perhaps keeping drugs more inflated than they should be?
Sure. I mean, I think if you look, everything President Trump is doing, everything that we're doing at HHS, and a lot of this falls under Dr. Oz at CMS, Medicare, Medicaid. Everything that we're doing is to reduce drug prices for people in this country. President Trump has worked hard to bring what we call most favored nation pricing. In other words, people in this country paying prices for drugs that are commensurate or the same as other countries, as opposed to these jacked up and ramped up prices. There are so many things President Trump is doing to work to lower drug prices for all of us. The PBMs are right. That's an area some people call them the middlemen or the middle managers. Everything that we're doing is trying to lower drug prices for people in this country. You mentioned Trump RX. Again, a huge step forward to help people connect with how they get the drugs at the lowest prices they can. Absolutely. If you look, there are, through CMS, there are drugs that are used for cancer treatment and chronic disease where we're working hard, and we have lowered those prices, producing incredible cost savings. We've seen that compared to last year. There's going to be more price savings and more drugs on that list. The prices are coming down in 2026 and more even in 2027. Again, working to lower the cost of these drugs that are important to treat cancer or to treat chronic disease. We are winning on the front of bringing down drug pricing. Are we winning fast enough? Listen, President Trump will always say, no matter how good we do, we could always do better. He is such a lion to move things forward. So we're working hard on that, and we're pushing forward. We want drugs to be as affordable as they can for people in this country. And again, there are concrete things that we have done that have dropped the drug prices down. There is a role to play also thinking about Medicaid services. You know, prescription drugs in Medicaid account for over $100 billion. Again, actively, there is a program out that states can opt into where they're getting lower prices for prescription drugs for Medicaid patients. And you may say, well, Medicaid doesn't affect me. But again, when you think $100 billion or more, it affects all of us because all of us are paying into that. We have lowered drug prices for Medicaid patients if these states opt into the program. The program is called the Generous Program. It's an acronym. The idea of lowering these prices, that's putting money back in the pockets of all Americans, those of us who pay federal taxes anyway.
Yeah.
So we are winning on all fronts when it comes to lowering drug prices, but there's more that we're doing. There's more to come, but we've done concrete things already.
Can y'all do anything about stopping Big Pharma from advertising every single slot during every single football game or thing I want to watch? It's really annoying.
I am so happy that you asked that.
Well, good, because I'm expecting you to handle it.
I'm so happy you asked that. So after I had my confirmation hearing in July, and that was before I had my confirmation vote, but I had my hearing. We felt good about things. I closed my practice here in Birmingham, and I wanted to move up to Washington. And so I reached out to the commissioner at FDA, Marty McCary, because I know Marty. I said, Marty, can I come work as an advisor? Can I come work at the FDA? So I worked for about 3 months at FDA before I got confirmed into my position that I'm in now. One of the things that Marty tasked me to do when I was there was to work on this very issue, the direct-to-consumer marketing. Yeah. And if you remember back in the fall, there was a huge announcement because we had sent out multiple warning letters to companies saying, you can't advertise the way you're doing. Because you'd have these advertisements, you've seen them, we've all seen them on TV, where you have people dancing around.
Welcome back to Rightside. You guys, it's Friday, and I don't know what your plans are, but I hope they're good ones. And I hope you have a great weekend. But before we break for the weekend, JP, what kind of merriment do you have for us today?
Yeah, he's over there giggling again.
Yeah.
Okay, well, there's some never have I evers we're not going to ask.
Okay. Fair.
We're like one big family.
No. But okay, we'll find some. No, not that we're not a big family, but
okay,
it's more than the three of us listening.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, but we're I think so.
Yeah.
I think there's more than the three of us here listening. Okay. We're gonna find some tame never have I evers. Let's see. Never have I ever binged an entire series in one day.
I don't think I've done that.
Not one day. I do binge though.
I binge.
Oh yeah.
What does that mean?
Like I binge watch. It's my problem. Like I don't like to casually watch stuff. Like I want something I can go episode.
Hey, how many will you watch?
If I really want to be a degenerate, like I'll watch, I don't know, like 7 in a row. Like The Sopranos, Breaking Bad, those 45-minute episodes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They just go by.
Uh,
It's just
That's the last show I binge watched was The Sopranos.
Hmm.
God, it's so good.
I never saw it.
You've
But
never
I trust
seen
you.
it?
No,
Yeah.
but I
Wow.
trust you.
You haven't either?
No.
What the heck?
I don't know what that means, but no.
One of the greatest shows ever.
It just was hard. It was hard for me I watched a few and I just couldn't get into it. But maybe I need to start from the beginning. I think
Probably we
I jumped
should,
in
yeah.
the center, in the
Awesome.
middle. Are you a binger?
I'm a binger.
Yeah, I get antsy. Y'all can tell
Oh, yeah.
during the
for sure.
breaks.
Yeah.
I get antsy. I got maybe 2 solid episodes in me.
And then you're done.
Then I got
You're
it.
over it.
Yeah, done.
Let's see. Never have I ever left gum in a public space.
Like chewed gum?
Yeah, like stuck it under.
Oh no.
I don't think I do that because those people make me, when you step in it or you touch it on a handrail, you want to punch
Yeah,
a guy.
Yeah, I
Girl.
hate litterers.
Yeah,
If you litter, you should get the death penalty.
that's strong.
Just kidding.
You should have to come and clean up your litter and everybody else's litter around it too. Are you a gum chewer?
I'm a gum chewer.
I am too.
But it depends. Sometimes I am, sometimes I'm not. If I don't have it in my purse, I have mints. But yeah, leaving gum, ew.
Do you swallow it?
Sometimes.
Uh,
Because I found out from someone
doesn't
I
actually-
live with that the wives' tale is not true.
So it doesn't stay there for 7 years?
Surprise.
I'm guessing if you've got some good stomach acid, it probably just breaks it
It's
down.
not good for you, and he always spits his gum out. I can be lazy that way.
nah, I can't do it.
I try not to. but
I try
sometimes-
not to. I am a gum chewer though. It helps if I have racing thoughts or whatever. If I'm out, I just like to have.
Yeah.
I blow bubbles too. That's the problem.
Well, never mind. I won't ruin it for you.
What?
Okay.
There's supposed to be like thousands of microplastics in every piece of gum. Like,
Okay,
you're just
well,
sucking down microplastics.
I've already got microplastics all in me.
That's true.
Have y'all seen that study? Okay, maybe I shouldn't say that study.
What?
That I can't. Okay, well, it's
The study that says that we eat a credit card size amount of plastic every day.
No, I was gonna say the one in particular about the amount of microplastics that the average male has in their testicles, and they did a
Yes.
study on that
What?
of like after people have died.
It's actually not good.
Oh, it's a real thing.
Yes,
think
this is
it's
a
a
real
problem.
study. Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
That's
You think that's why our birth rates are declining? I
Yes,
can't
ma'am.
imagine that's a good thing to happen.
mm-mm.
How do you? Never mind. Never mind.
I won't ask this one because I know the answer. Amy Beth's been on a blind date, but never have I ever been on a blind date. That's how you met Chris, right?
That's how I met Chris. Blind dates are worth it.
Wait, I thought he followed you through a grocery store.
He did. And then randomly 6 weeks later, we went on a date and that was it.
But he knew you.
He knew me. I didn't know him.
Oh, okay. I got you.
Yeah, he followed me through a grocery store.
Yeah, I've never been on a blind date.
Me neither. Never have I ever. Okay, we're skipping that section.
I love being able to watch your face.
It's really funny.
Never.
Okay,
Okay. No, I think we're just gonna go to. I think we're gonna end the show. I think we're gonna end the show.
Okay.
All right. Well, I need everybody to go home and take a nap and rest because apparently it's been a long week and it's going to be a great weekend. I hope y'all have a great weekend. We'll be back Monday. Lord have mercy. Everybody rest up because every week it seems like now brings something new in Alabama. I mean, I'm scared to even predict what's going to go down next week. We'll
And we're
see.
gonna be at war with Iran.
Yeah.
I wasn't even thinking about that.
Thanks, JP.
Great. Y'all have a good weekend.